Welcome. We are here as part of the Shared Hearth Open Gaming Weekend presented by the Open Hearth gaming community. Um, I'm Madeline Colley, she, they pronouns, and I'm running Under the Autumn Strangely, a story game by Graham Gentz. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and do some player introductions to start us off. This game will be played under the Open Hearth community code of conduct, as well as being part of the Shared Hearth weekend. But yes, I mean, like everybody should have that. Um, Again, some availability of like the principles that we will be playing by, which will include safety tools and expectations put on the table, so everybody knows what we're going to be doing. Hopefully. So let's start with some player introductions. Again, I'm Mads, she, they pronouns, and I've played a lot of collaborative narrative games, as well as some traditional stuff beforehand. But I run games, I play games, and I really love tabletop role-playing games. So there you go. And I'm excited to do this. I've played this once before with a designer on Plus One Experience channel, Twitch channel, and I enjoyed myself a lot. And I'm hoping to share the experience with all of you who have been kind enough to join me at my table today. All right. Yeah. So excited for sharing. Let me go left to right on my view screen here. Mark, please
Yeah.
introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mark. I go by he and them. And yeah, I've been playing and running and designing games for a long time. Played with Mads a whole bunch. I think that's my first time with everyone else here. So super excited to do that. I know only a little bit about this game, but I'm just here for a good time. So yeah, here for it.
And Robyn.
Yeah, I'm Robyn. My pronouns are she, they, and I've played a few storytelling games. I haven't played too many like GM-less games, and I haven't played this one. But I have watched Over the Garden Wall, and I love the vibe, so I'm excited for this. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Dom.
Hello, my name is Dom, he, him pronouns. My experience with tabletop role playing is not as extensive as probably most of the others here. I've only started playing this past week, so I'm pretty new to it. As for the game, I've looked a bit into it just to kind of understand the general structure of the game. It, I would say, makes mostly sense. Still a few things that I'm not really quite sure about. Hopefully that's gonna be clarified during the course of the game. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with you all.
And last but not least, Kay.
Hi, I'm Kay of the She and They Variety. And yeah, I've got a decent familiarity with TTRPG games, really enjoy playing with them. Got a bit of a love-hate relationship with kind of like what I would describe as belonging outside belonging games. So I'm excited to check out this one, as pastoral horror is very close to folk horror, which is like my one true love. So I'm hoping to see how this one interacts. I'm excited. And Matt is also wonderful, so it'll be great.
Oh, you. Okay. Well, everybody is wonderful. If I've been able to have the pleasure of playing with you before, and it's like, Dom, welcome to like not only like my table, but also to the TTRPG world. It's like, hopefully we'll make it, at least interesting and, a little fun. All right. So, what I'm going to delve into right now is essentially a round of cats. So again, that stands for concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. It's to set up expectations before we play, so everybody has a pretty good idea of what we're trying to go for when we play this game. And hopefully we won't veer too far from the vibes and from the tone. But again, I mean, like, to set this up ahead of time, will at least help us, stay on a relatively you know, uh, same path. And then I will also go over safety tools that are available to everyone when we play as well. So for the intro, real short and sweet. Under the Autumn Strangely, again, is by Graham Gentz. Concept is that this game is a storytelling game of pastoral horror, full of anachronistic Americana in a land that never was. And you don't have to know anything about anachronistic Americana because, again, it's out of time and out of place because this is a land that never was. The aim is to take 3 to 6 players, including myself, to take one of 3 roles to collaboratively tell a story of people lost in an unknown rural place just beyond the realm of the familiar. The game empowers players to create and compete with one another in a push-pull mechanic to move the story forward. And I'll show you guys what we mean by that. Tone. Under the Autumn strangely gives off a folksy storytelling quality with a touch of surreal horror, as players don't know where the characters are and only find out as the story unfolds. Touchstones include Over the Garden Wall. That's directly out of the game. And then I also, after playing it, have thought of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And Big Fish, if you are familiar with those 2 movies. Okay. Subject matter. While there can be humor on this journey, there will always be a threat of something darker in the tentative environment created. Explorations through body horror and ever-shifting reality may come up through play. So given that, we do have safety tools that are available to everyone to be able to use, just in case something comes up as triggering, or it's like making sure that we all know, content warnings and such like that. So we have a safety tab in our character keeper, a very basic character keeper, just to be able to have everything in one place. And one of the safety tools that's available is the X card. So if something comes up in an unobjectionable, unfun way, okay, basically you want to call on the X card, either make an X in the video or X in the chat, or just call out X card. We'll stop play, find out what needs to be taken out, and then remove it, and then just go on from there, like it never existed, okay? There's also the O card, which Graham has included in this game as well, which is to not interrupt play necessarily, but I mean, like, you acknowledge O either as like by making a symbol in the video or on the chat, and acknowledging that this is okay and everybody's enjoying what is happening on the screen or, in the narration at the time. So O card is very welcome, okay, and encouraged. Open door. So if for whatever reason you got to get up and, remove yourself from the scene, take a moment, step back, that's fine. You can open door. Or if this game isn't for you, it is perfectly fine to just say, I'm opening door because this, whatever. You don't have to tell us why. You just have to let us know. It's like, are you gone for a few moments for the scene, or are you completely leaving the game, and that's fine too. All right. So just let us know if that's the case. There's also script change. So basically, if there's anything that you want to stop and kind of review, like, we'll pause, and then we'll also kind of rewind, and then take it back to a point that we agree that we want to start over again, and then, or we can fast forward, just like making sure that we just buzz through whatever seems a little bit uncomfortable, then we'll just go ahead and do that as well. Lines and veils. The safety tab contains our lines and veils. A line is something that won't be crossed, and it will not be part of the game whatsoever, okay? So continually check into this particular tab, just in case you think of something that may be a little bit questionable, just make sure that it's not a line. And a veil is something that may come up, may be mentioned, but won't be described in any detail. We won't fully role play it out, fade to black on it, and that's a veil, okay? And then there's also columns for ask first and interest, okay? We also have an romance consent matrix on the very, very bottom. So the players would enter in whether they their characters consent to be having romance with the PCs or with NPCs introduced into play. And then if there's any notes or preferences that we need to know about, they can put that in there as well. Okay, so if you haven't had a chance already, please go into the safety tab, add anything that Um, like add some lines or what have you if you don't see what your triggers are or anything like that. There's a notes section just in case you want to clarify something on a particular topic or theme. But yes, please fill in your lines, your veils, ask first, and interest. Um, all I ask is that you do not downgrade something that was a line into a veil or a veil into an ask first. It's like it's perfectly fine to upgrade as needed. Okay, so if something like ends up being triggering, then go ahead and throw it in as a veil or a line accordingly. And maybe it comes up several times in play, and it's fine then. But if it comes up not fine at a certain point, you can go ahead and X card and then add it to the safety tab. Just apprise it as something that we should take a look at if there's any changes or additions. Okay?
Hey, Mads, I'm
Yeah.
a dullard when it comes to Google Docs. How do you add more rows?
Let me go ahead and add that. That was my fault because I should have done so beforehand, and I
You're
didn't.
all good.
Hopefully it'll let me insert rose buff.
It says they exist. It says they're hidden. I just don't know how to unhide them. There we go. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, I just added some. There you go. And like if some things like seem a little bit strange, like why the hell is that in there? It's because I built it off of the trophy trigger content warnings that I've collected through looking at the books and some of the incursions. So that is a pretty comprehensive list of trigger and content warnings. So if it ain't on here already, I'm shocked. But that's fine. Like just add it. It's fine. Again, names of people that you don't want to be mentioned. That's perfectly fine too. That makes sense. You don't want to be triggered by a certain name or something specific. So
It's
just go ahead and
family
put it.
names that just like I find they pull me out of the game
Mm,
because I'm
mm,
like, if I hear my brother's name, I'm like, wait, what?
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. That is fine because again, you don't want to be coming out of your immersion because of something weird.
That's an interesting one. Can I add to that list?
Absolutely, go for it.
Yeah, I find it's helpful because I feel like certain names either for some people it can be like triggering or linked to a
Mhm.
bad experience, or for like I said, for mine, uh, if I see like certain names, it just like completely like juts me out of the mindset of the game.
Totally.
Yeah, that I get. It's perfectly fine. Alrighty. Yeah, go ahead and add as we go. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, I guess well, I mean, I know what role I'm taking, but I mean, I'll put mine in, my romance stuff in anyway.
All the Mats romance.
Yes, usually. That's perfectly fine. I mean, like again, because depending on the role, who knows how often it comes up and how we play. Because I'll explain like how things can change chapter to chapter, in which case it's like we can adjust this play as needed. Let me know when you're done by either typing OK in the chat or making thumbs up signal in the video. Okay. Perfect. Okay, great. Okay, so we have on our safety. I'm going to go ahead and read these off so this way we're all on the same page. All right. For lines, we have child sexual abuse, harm to pregnant people, pregnancy, homophobia, transphobia, intimate partner violence, racism, sexual assault, sexual violence. Names Zach, Lauren, Mark, Sandy, Sarah, and Glenn. Okay, and then veils. We have cannibalism, graphic injuries and gore, graphic violence, human sacrifice, PC betrayal, sexual content and slavery, and torture. There is an ask first column, as I said. So again, just check in, like, if it gets a little close to narrating something like this, mentioning kink, BDSM, and mind control, and self-harm with intent for suicide. And interest, there is an interest column. Body horror, always a win, always a win. Manipulation, memory loss and dissociation, religion, cults, and romance. and stalking surveillance, which, because of there being a terror in this particular game, that's going to happen. Yeah. So, alrighty. And that is safety. Okay, great. Now we're going to move into the role prep. So there are 3 different roles here in Under the Autumn Strangely. Okay. And there is a role tab which has a bunch of stuff on it. Like I said, this is a working document of a character keeper, so it has everything and hardly readable, but we'll get through this. Okay. So the Traveler, the Arcadian, and the Terror. Okay. With 3 players, each player plays one of the roles. And this is, again, a GM-less / GM full game where there's no one person like kind of calling the shots. Although me facilitating, I'm just gonna guide you guys as we go through this game. Okay. With 4 to 5 players, players choose the role they wish to double up on. Each role must be filled. So conceivably, with the 5 of us, one role would just have one person on it, or maybe have more than. You know what? Actually, it's better to just have up to 2 players per role. I don't want to have 5 travelers and then 4 travelers and then 1 Arcadian and 1 Terror. That's not fair. So yeah, up to 2 players per role. And with 6 players, each role has 2 separate players. One person was unable to join us for today, so we'll have an uneven number, but that's fine. Okay. Each role is equally important and balance out the other 2. Everything stated by the players is. That includes everybody. So whatever happens is. There's the possibility of each role changing the narrative, and then the roles have specific ways that they can contradict another role, but then only able to confirm the opposite. So, for instance, and I have several visuals up, the Traveler can contradict, no, but the Arcadian, who can contradict, no, but the Terror, and then it comes round again where the Terror can contradict, no, but the Traveler, and then the Traveler can confirm the Arcadian, and so on and so forth. There's a bunch of different ones that are here. Okay, so given that, let me see.
I have a question.
Yes.
For continuing, what does it mean to confirm
Okay,
something?
so yeah, let's go right into that, because once we get into the narrations, it's where there's a slight token currency. It's not quite as robust as a belonging outside belonging. Okay, where you earn tokens by doing certain things or calling on certain moves. It's more of you start. Depending on the chapter, depending on whose focus it is for that particular chapter, they get a certain amount of tokens more than the other roles. And you would be able to use these tokens to affect change or contradiction. Excuse me. And so if I confirm, if my role is able to confirm what you're saying, that means I take what you just said and add on to it and make it more full, make it more rich. If my role contradicts Marc's role, that means it's I hand a token to, I move a token over to him and say, no, but what actually happens is, okay? So that's the difference between confirm and contradict. And we'll go through this more in play, okay? Good question. So anyway, I'm going to read some of this off, for each of the roles, and then this way you guys can decide which role you want to take for this particular game. So, the Traveler. It's the point of view character for our tale. They're lost in the never was and foreign to it. The Traveler is the closest thing to a traditional player character. They struggle with the unfamiliar, full of wonders and horrors alike. The duties of the Traveler are to provide whimsy in their descriptions and interactions, but do so from the perspective of their character. If you want to dive headfirst into a wild, surreal realm of discovery, then the Traveler is for you. The Arcadian. The Arcadian is the never was itself, as well as all those who dwell there. The Arcadian is the closest thing to a traditional GM. You will take on the bulk of the rustic milieu, peppering your descriptions with autumnal melancholy. You will also largely, but not exclusively, portray the characters native to the Never Was. They are peculiar, to be sure, but not necessarily dangerous. The duties of the Arcadian are to provide the autumnal pastoral in their descriptions and interactions, with no limit on the perspective of their narration. If you like playing NPCs like a jazz solo, then the Arcadian is for you. The terrors. But there's a creeping shiver in the back of every interaction that isn't quite right. That is the terror. Something lurks behind the never was, the feeling that something is deeply wrong. You may be a literal entity. You may be something older, harder to describe, something more abstract. You push the never was ever closer to ruin and evil. The terror is intended to grow over time. They sow deceit. They chill the air. They boil and brood and build. They pull everything down with them so that none may escape. The duties of the terror are to provide omens and darkness in their descriptions and interactions, aspects of the never was from the perspective of an unknown observer. If you like prodding and coaxing and suggesting from the shadows, then the terror is for you. Okay? So, given that, what would people prefer to play? I mean, again, since this is where I'm hosting, facilitating this game, I'm happy to provide the Arcadian to kind of get us kicked off. That's fine. So I can be one of the Arcadians or just the Arcadian, depending on who wants to pick what role. All right, so up to 2 players only for each role. What do you think? Let's start with Kay. Kay, what sounds interesting to you?
Yeah, I think my preference is for the traveler, but if there's 2 people who are like, I only want the traveler, nothing else will satisfy me, I could roll with the terror. But
Gotcha.
my preference is for the traveler.
Okay, well, I'm going to put down the terror as your secondary, okay? Dom, what looks interesting to you?
To me, I think the terror sticks out the most.
Ooh, okay.
For my second choice would probably be. For second choice, I'm actually fine with either the Traveler or the Arcadian.
Okay. All right, Robyn?
The terror also sticks out to me. And then I think second choice would be Arcadian.
Okay. All right. And Marc.
Terror also sticks out to me.
That's funny.
But Arcadian would be good too.
Okay. All right. How do I battle it out? I don't know. I mean, it looks like,
Rollies?
What?
Rollies.
Rollies. Oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So, but it looks like Kay, since you want to be a traveler, I mean, like, you're not being fought on that one, so you can totally take
I win,
traveler.
victory.
Victory. All right. And between you 3, do you have again, I didn't provide for any dice or anything like that. So if you have any dice available, like, you can totally do a roll off for the terror.
Yeah, we can do that.
For the terror, perhaps we can roll a d6 and like one.
Okay.
If the numbers 1 or 2, it goes to me. If it's 2 or 4,
yeah.
it goes to Marc. If it's 5 or 6, it goes to Robyn.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, go for it.
So only 1 d6 is going to be rolled.
Well,
I can roll it.
I'll roll on Google Docs.
Oh yeah, you do it.
okay. Yeah. Let Kay do it.
So I have no stakes in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's good.
How do you roll in Google Docs?
Sorry, I said Google Docs. I meant like Google Chrome. I have a
Google.
4.
Oh,
Okay.
And then
Who was the 4?
I think that was Marc.
Yeah, but that's Marc.
Yeah. So
4 is Marc. And then I roll one more time, yeah?
Yeah. Go ahead.
1.
Okay, so that's me.
Dom. Yep.
Cool.
So Marc and
Okay, so
Dom
it's
are
me and
our
Marc.
terrors. Okay. So that's perfectly fine. And then Robyn, you wanted to be the Arcadian? Or like
That
traveler?
is what I said, but would it be weird if there's only 1 traveler and 2 of everything else? Because it's like,
We're setting upon the traveler. I mean,
yeah.
if you want to be a traveler to help keep it even for Kay, that's great.
I think I'll be a
Um,
traveler.
Okay.
Or unless, Kay, do you want to be the only traveler?
I'm fine either way. Play what you want to play.
Yeah. What do you want to play?
I don't even know anymore. I think I'll be a traveler.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay. So the way this works, and the only role that can tell us their details in the beginning of play is the traveler. So for you terrors, let's start with you guys. Character creation includes, all right, if 2 players are in this role, they will create 1 theme per player. So you can pick, you can quietly conspire between yourselves, like, if you want to DM each other in the Discord chat or however you want to do it, or even in the Zoom chat, you can refer to each other, alone, direct chat. Basically, you can go ahead and conspire different themes, like for each of you, 1 theme per terror. The examples are blood, shadow, bone, reflection, dawn, eyes, teeth. Anything that you want to evoke as imagery, because we will never see the actual entity or entities of the terror until your actual chapter in the game. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you are going to give us like hints of this through your theme. Okay. So, again, you want to conspire like direct, direct message offline or whatever. Okay. Yeah. So basically it's a general theme for yourselves to guide the narration. You're going to write it down and keep it secret. Do not reveal your theme to the other players, us. You are patient. You are terror itself. Fantastic. Okay, travelers. All right, so you guys get to figure out like what you want to do. Your character creation is you will each create your own character complete with details. Players may privately coordinate their details if they wish or not. Okay? You're going to give your name, your age, and your pronouns. And then you're going to tell us, how do you appear to others? And how do you see yourself? Those are the questions that you have to answer. Oh, and then one last question. What were you doing just before you became lost in the never was? So you 2 can do that together, or like, if you know each other or whatever, or if you want to be separate travelers, that's perfectly fine too. That is up to you. I leave it up to you. And I'm okay with doing a slight pause in the recording to allow for people to think on these things and discuss as needed. Okay. So the way this game is structured, loose structure, is that it's played in chapters. Each chapter has a particular role focus, and it is suggested to start with the Arcadian's chapter. And each chapter has each role getting a certain amount of tokens depending on how many players in the role and what the chapter is. Okay, so for instance, and I was saying this off recording, the Arcadian, since it's just me, gets 2 tokens. The Traveler the Travelers get a pull from a pool of 6 because there's 2 of them, and usually a Traveler gets 3 tokens. Okay, and the Terrors get 2 tokens as their pool. There's 2 of them, and the Terror normally gets 1 token. Okay. So for this first chapter, the tokens are to essentially do the contradictions, so affecting change upon any narration that has come before. And there is a visual in the game itself, like showing who affects whom for contradictions and who can confirm for a certain role. So if one role made a description, then like one of the other roles can confirm and pile on that description to make it richer for what they perceive. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to explain this. So the Traveler can contradict the Arcadian. The Arcadian can contradict the Terror. The Terror can contradict the Traveler, and this is if they have enough tokens to be able to do so. The Traveler can confirm, no tokens needed, to confirm, essentially pile on to the description of what the Terror is saying, and the Terror can confirm what the Arcadian is saying, and the Arcadian can confirm what the Traveler is saying. So it's like one big loop, depending on the role. All right, so we will keep referring back to these, hopefully, and not confuse ourselves. But anyway, so again, we will be starting with the Arcadians chapter, with the Arcadian having 2 tokens of change, travelers having a pool of 6 to pull from, and terrors have 2. We only get to know about the details of our travelers to start. Everything else is hidden from the other roles. So I have 2 things that I get to try and describe, and then the terror will have their themes that they're keeping secret, and we will only see when they narrate those. Okay? So and it's one of those things where, I mean, like, I know that people are jockeying for position because, I mean, like, with a story game, sometimes it's not clear necessarily, like, who gets to talk. But again, use the whole push-pull thing. I mean, if you have the tokens, you can contradict and change that particular role that you can affect. If you want to confirm the associated role, you can do that as well. I mean, and because there's 2 of you in each of those other roles, work together, or like, like kind of a call and response kind of thing. If like you have different, obviously the travelers can talk to each other, the terrors can definitely work off of each other if that's what you so want to do. All right, so feel free, and then like kind of figure out like how you want to weave yourself into the tale as we tell it. Okay. And I think, okay. So the chapter ends when all of the following things is true. And I did include this in my table that I included. The question, okay, there's a opening narration from that particular role's chapter. And then there's a question that's presented here. So when you get to your chapter, it's like you have to figure out a question. When the question is answered, one particular role, doesn't even matter if it's my role or like anybody else's role. If any role has no tokens left, that's a condition. And if a player calls out fade out, okay? So those 3 things have to be met for a chapter to end. A question is answered, a role has no tokens left, and fade out is called by a player, okay? And let's see, was there anything else that I wanted to go through? Not yet. Okay, so an opening narration sets the stage for the chapter. You provide visual details, establishing physically where the action is taking place, and create tonal texture and draw together attention and emotions to start. And then my opening narration, since we're starting with the Arcadians chapter, will end with my asking a question that needs to be answered. Okay? So if we're all ready to play, we'll get started. Oh, I almost forgot one of the most important things. So Graham, the designer, has provided a Spotify playlist for this game. It's to provide like mood music, kind of evoke some vibes and such. It's a little bit more difficult doing it online. And what I've tended to do is that if you have a particular song or a vibe in mind or a melody or something like that, you can try and include that as part of your opening narration. Like, what kind of instrument is it, or what does it sound like? Is it a particular type of song? That sort of thing, to call on these vibes to add to the picture of this opening. Okay, and so let's just say, to start this game of Under the Autumn Strangely, you start with darkness, black. And you hear a twang of a stringed instrument, and then more twangs on the string instrument as it's like the instrument is starting a patter, starting a walk down a lonely road. But then it starts getting more animated as you hear the sounds of crowds or people talking, laughing, having fun. And the autumn leaves are falling on this road, leading to this village that seems to be in the middle of a harvest festival of some sort. And you can hear the laughter, you can hear the sloshing of drinks, and you can see the lights as they gleam through this autumn twilight as our travelers make their way down this road towards this village and the sounds that it's making. The song is gentle and a bit lively, as if to get ready for a dance and celebration here. But I will say our travelers will see leading to this village that the trees are dark. Can't quite tell what the bark is made of. And you see that the trees themselves are starting to dance the closer you get to this village as well. Maybe the branches are cracking, turning in a non existent breeze, or they are gesturing as if in welcome to come forward and join this village as their leaves fall on the path.
Should the travelers introduce their characters?
Ah, yes. Um, Again, you
You
can
want-
make the introduction. Hold on, let me just. Yeah, let's make the introduction of the travelers, and then I will ask the question.
Do you want to go first, Robyn, or should I?
You go first.
Okay. So I am going to be playing Sebastian, he, him, age 28. I didn't decide on a last name because I figured that might be something we should either do together or it doesn't necessarily matter. He, him. Uh, so I think he appears to other as someone who very much has his shit together. He's graduated from his MBA program at a prestigious university. He's a few years into, or maybe like a couple of years into a very good job at a very good position at a place of blah, blah, blah prestige. He's good looking, well mannered, comes from a good family. And so theoretically, he appears just fantastic, Uh, he sees himself as rather lost. Uh, he's the kind of guy who growing up, there was this is what you're going to do, and you're going to follow this list, and then you're going to be happy as an adult. You're going to go to the school, you're going to get the job, get the grade, do the thing. And now he's done all that, and he's not happy. And that doesn't make sense. And it's left him kind of a little confused and a little upset and unsure what to do. I think just before becoming lost in the never was, he had just picked up his younger sibling and he was driving them. They were in a car together. He'd picked them up to meet their parents at a cottage they were renting for the weekend. But they recently got a flat tire. And so now they're trying to walk to the local town village to see if they can get their tire fixed. Because as if this day where he was considering telling his parents, I don't know if I want to be insert corporate high job, could get any worse. He not only had to travel with his rebellious younger brother or sister or sibling, nibbling, rebellious sibling, and then the fucking car broke down.
Okay, so my character's name is Rex. He's 18 years old, and he is the little brother. He is like basically delinquent. He is crap at school, and he knows it, and everyone knows it. And he kind of spends his days like getting up to no good. He's in trouble with school, with cops often, and he is basically a huge disappointment to their parents because Sebastian like set the bar so high. And And so he kind of has this like his personality is sort of this overconfident bravado to sort of mask the insecurity. He's not sure what he's going to do after high school. And yeah, he sort of feels some animosity towards his older brother just because, like, he has, you know, I, I can't say words, but you understand how he would feel, I think. Yeah. And I guess, yeah, so the how we got lost is that we're trying to find someone who can fix our tire. How long have we been in this forest? Like, have we already seen lots of weird, crazy things?
You didn't start seeing these crazy things, or at least the trees looking like they were, until you approached this lonely road with the carpet of crunchy autumn leaves. And these dark barked trees are gesturing, like moving, dancing to this music distantly that you hear. And again, they are moving them in jerky ways or swaying in the breeze, non existent breeze, and kind of welcoming you towards the sounds of this festival. So the question is, the question is, will you make your way to your parents, or will you find your way back to the main road? Let's start with something a little bit shorter. Okay.
Whoa, Seb, are you seeing these trees?
What about the trees? And he like runs a hand kind of through his hair and looks up. Don't focus on the trees. We need to see if we see someone. We're looking for someone or a tire shop.
But I mean, these trees are, they seem like they want to help. And I'm gonna go up to one of these moving trees and just like put my hand on it, just like to make sure I'm not on drugs or something, because that's a possibility. Like, did I forget that I took some shrooms this morning or something?
The
Like,
trees want to help.
maybe. I don't know. Hey, tree.
Rex, trees cannot help you fix a car. Trees can be tapped for sap. They can be cut for lumber. They can provide shade on a hot day. They can't provide assistance with a broken car. Did you take something?
Well, if you're seeing this too, I think whatever I took, you took as well. Like,
I've never taken a drug. And he like
okay, right.
looks over. Okay, so the trees are swaying. They move with wind.
Not like this. I'm just gonna put my hand on one of the trees.
And the tree will, you hear a distinct cracking as the tree will bend and move and clasp your hand to itself gently.
Just
Oh,
immediately, Sebastian is like trying to grab you around the middle and pull you away from this fucking tree that just tried to grab your hand.
Now, out of character, I mean, like, the traveler can completely use a token to contradict what the Arcadian has said.
And the Terra can confirm without using a token, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
we're gonna say, I mean, that the confirmations are fine.
Mhm.
It's the change wrought by the contradictions that use up tokens, or what you would do is like move the token into the corresponding role.
I don't think this is token worthy. I think it's fine for Sebastian to fail in this action.
Okay.
I guess it depends. Like, if it's gently, does that mean that I can just like easily pull my hand out?
Yeah.
Okay. It probably slips out when Sebastian pulls me away.
Sure.
It's like, no, the tree loves me.
Trees shouldn't love you.
All right. Well,
Festival sounds grow a little bit louder.
okay, come on. There's people there. Let's go. And he like takes Rex's hand and starts to lead him to this festival where people are and help, and he can forget about the tree that definitely moved like not tree.
yeah. I follow. I kind of like, do this to get my hand out of
Yeah.
your hand, but I'm still following.
And I think as you make your way to the festival sounds, they grow louder, and you see the lights strung up. They are of autumn colors, strung between several trees that are also swaying in this non-existent breeze, and they are dancing to the music that is very audible and heard. There is a band somewhere. Don't quite see it yet, but you do see people going to and fro, maybe with food, maybe dancing in their streets, and just they look out of time. Like, you are dressed in modern clothing, but these are people that have simple button downs, or clothes that look like they are woolen and linen, and with suspenders and simple boots or dresses.
Wonder if this is like one of those reenactment theater things.
Yeah. I just like go in front of one of the people and just like I like wave my hand in front of their face.
Don't be rude.
I just want to see if they're real. I don't know. Like those trees, I'm
Say, excuse
stepping
me.
out.
Does the person respond to the wave in the face?
Yes. I think you see a girl that is probably no no older than Rex, and actually gives him an appraising look of, "Oh, hi. How are you?"
Oh,
Did you say that there are people dancing already?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can I yes and that and have her actually grab Rex's hand and pull him in to a lively dance
Absolutely.
while talking, so not to overstep what you're doing.
No, for sure. Not that, like, go ahead and run with that if you'd like. Sure.
okay. So the girl's dancing with Rex right now.
Mhm.
Okay. He sort of he takes the lead and sort of like swoops her down, does like fancy, sort of like flirty dance.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's kind of like a lively, like a what do you call it, like a real maybe like where people are kind of like everyone's kind of dancing around, but it's still kind of partner dancing. Yeah.
Yeah. And
uh,
I'm just going to point
yeah.
out this is a perfect opportunity for any of the terrors to contradict the traveler at any point and introduce something thematic to them.
Bastion's kind of just watching because like he doesn't want to interrupt his brother dancing with a girl, even though it's kind of strange. He's like, I don't want to do that to him.
I would interject and say that while Rex is up and having fun dancing, Sebastian kind of hears like a door creak, and it kind of obviously turns around and sees like this old wooden door, like an intricate design, like that just appeared behind him, like not connected to anything. And as it slowly opens, uh, an entity steps out. Sebastian would see a creature that basically it looks like a snake. It has like a snake lower half, but the upper half is more of a man wearing similar clothes to him, like a a very dressed shirt with the jacket on, a tie. But Sebastian will notice that the creature has very long fingers and the head of a snake, but he could immediately notice that instead of having like the typical snake fangs one would expect, it kind of has like these big black rabbit teeth instead. And it kind of just slits us out of the door next to Sebastian and just kind of goes, "Well, my, that's a new face. What brings you here to Nevertheless?"
And there's like this like breathless gasp as he kind of looks at this creature. And at first, he kind of looks, he misses the head at first and the bottom, and he sees, it wasn't Kyle dressed in this shade of dress shirt today. What's Kyle doing out here? Only to turn to see the full shape, and he kind of immediately like sidestep a half step away. And he's like, "I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?"
It seems you are not of this place. Just how did you get here?
Got a flat tire. And he like goes to like rub at his eyes as if like it's something wrong with him. Like, I know I pulled like an all-nighter, but this can't be. Are you in costume for the party? Very intricate costume.
Aren't we all in costumes for any given occasion? It seems like you're a bit distressed. Catched up, as you say. Most interesting.
Yes, my car isn't working. I am mildly in distress. I'd like not be late. And your costume is honestly frighteningly accurate.
No need to distress. Why don't you enjoy the music? Go and have some fun. It seems your brother is taken has taken quite a liking to this place.
Rex can make fun out of a paper clip in a plastic bag. And I think he takes just like several more steps away. Have a good day. He's gonna start walking away because this is just too fucking much for him. Somewhat closer towards Rex, and a little bit of a fast pace. He's like, "Rex, not to interrupt, we really should be finding the mechanic."
Kind of busy here.
Who's your friend?
Are you playing the girl, Mark?
Yeah, I'll play the girl.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. She's ask Rex. Who's your friend?
Oh, that's my big bro.
Oh, your big brother. Bit of a stick in the mud, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, right?
So sorry. Maybe you can get her phone number. You can text later. But we're going to be late. Do you know, is there a mechanic in town?
Mechanic.
Yeah, we just like our tire broke, so we just need someone to fix that.
Oh, that sounds like work for tomorrow. And she like steps up to dance.
She steps. Sorry, what was the last thing?
She continues dancing.
Okay.
I understand maybe for you it seems like not a big deal, but our parents are going to worry, and we don't even have. I'm going to pull up my phone actually. Do I have signal?
Do you have signal? Let me see. Yes, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think you have Missing confirms traveler. Yeah. So I think you have signal, but it's not a strong one.
You know what? Let me see if I can call mom and dad. Maybe we can stay. And he like looks at Rex and he's, the girl called him a stick in the mud and he's kind of been feeling not great about himself. He's like, let me call and see if maybe we can delay. Is there a place that rents rooms here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you can see in the
Like
in
an
the
inn?
midst of this, like, yeah, there's a like a two-story inn of a sort. Again, very, very rustic looking, as if some of these trees had formed buildings. Like they're kind of wrapping around each other, like, in very bark-like hugs, and like not built in any true form.
Interesting. Rex, don't go anywhere. Let me just see if I can call mom and dad and see if maybe we can stay for the night. Explain. Enjoy the dance. And he's gonna take a step away. Definitely, the step away though is farther away from the fucking snake man. Uh, and, and is gonna try and call their parents.
Does anything happen when he calls his parents?
Would that be a cue for the tether or for the starter?
Okay, I mean, yeah, it would be a cue for the terror if you want to insert something weird, and then you would end up mechanically using another token.
In that case, I think I'll refrain. I already used one token. I want to leave the other for Marc.
Okay.
So the phone call goes off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Theoretically. I
Theoretically.
call the mom because that's just what you do.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, hey, mom, we hit a flat tire. Having some trouble looking to arrange mechanics. We found a little reenactment village, kind of old town, like a Germantown kind of thing, I think. I think we're gonna stay the night if you're okay with that, just while we get the car fixed.
You hear like static, as if like rustling, crumbling leaves are like on the phone with you, and you hear, "What, honey? I heard. I think you're breaking up, staying over."
Yeah, also, it's just me and Rex. Kara's not coming. As he brings up the name of his theoretical fiance.
Car coming too?
No, she's not coming. We can talk more about that later. When I get there. But
Safe trip. Have a safe trip. Love to you and Rex.
mom says love you, Rex. Just like in front of this girl. Just like calls that out. And he's like, okay, well, I'll text you the name of the inn and stuff, whatever. We'll be there soon. Sorry.
The rustling, breaking
Yeah,
leaves
Rex.
gets
All right.
louder and louder.
Pockets it. We're here. We're here for the night. You have the night. Dance.
Yes.
Is there a stand selling alcohol?
Oh, good idea.
No. You're dancing and you're underage.
What? I drink all the time. It's fine.
Not
Plus, there's no cops here. What are you worried about?
just dance. Have
The
fun. I
drink
got you to-
is fine. The drink is good. I mean, this is another girl that comes up and will actually try to draw Sebastian into the dance. And the drink is beautifully fragrant. Smell.
I don't
she's-
dance. I've got two left
She
feet.
presents
so-
she presents a tray with, like, it's a wooden tray with a wooden cup, and it's like you smell, like, you see like a dark red liquid in it.
Yeah, he's gonna take one. If Rex's hand goes for one, he's just smacking that hand. Absolutely not. You are not drinking on my watch. It's bad enough I've delayed us a day.
Everyone
serious?
gets to drink.
Yeah, everyone gets to drink.
Do you have like a
Eat your
non-alcoholic?
fish. Alcohol?
See, it's not even alcohol.
He's non-alcoholic, and he like looks sort of forlornly in the cup. I okay, it's non-alcoholic. Don't drink too much though. And he like picks up the cup and it's like looking at it now because if it's not wine, what is this?
I
Okay.
just shrug and kind of start chugging.
And again, you guys have out of character. You guys have tokens that you can use if you want to contradict anything that I say, because you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do
I think
that.
I'll spend a token, and I think after you've taken it, he's like, "What do you mean not?" And he's gonna take a drink, and it's definitely alcoholic. I will spend a token to make this definitely alcoholic, and I think he sputters because it's pretty strong, and he's also kind of surprised at how easily Rex just shot that ship back.
Go ahead and move a traveler token and then add it to mine to
Of course,
Arcadian.
okay.
So yeah. So
Um,
And I think I'd like to spend the other token now.
okay.
When you take the drink, I think your uh, what's the feeling? I guess like a relaxation or confidence comes up, and what you were saying about your two left feet, that kind of just goes away, and you do join in the dance, and you're actually quite good at it. Maybe you even like look at how Rex is dancing and be like, I can do better than that, and just like get into it and really do it.
yeah, I think yeah, he takes that first drink and then decides to take another and feels this blossoming warmth in his chest, and he's like,
Mhm.
you know what? And he looks at the girl, and for a moment, he's like, oh, I just okay, yeah. There's like a guilt in his chest. Uh, and then he lets her lead and
Yeah,
starts dancing. And he's actually, a really good dancer. He
yeah,
claims two left feet, but he's actually a good dancer and he's doing a fucking baller job.
yeah. And even looking over at Rex, like you're like, you know what? I think the prettier girl chose me.
Yeah,
So
and
Sebastian says that to
He
Rex.
he, he thinks that to himself.
I think yeah, he thinks
Oh,
that, and
okay.
then there's just like a small kind of chuckle that's like you haven't heard your brother laugh in a while.
Mhm.
That kind of like burbles out of his chest unintentionally, like and his hair kind of gets a little whipped up in the wind that's usually so
Mhm.
coiffed and organized, and he doesn't go to fix it immediately.
So Rex sees all this and he is filled with like he doesn't want to be shown up by his brother. And so he takes the girl that he was dancing with and starts dancing some more and like trying to like upstage his brother. And I think they're both just like dancing madly, just like yeah. Um, but Rex is definitely not he's not in a good mood anymore.
Oh no.
Bastion actually looks happy. Like the smile reaches his eyes.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
Is that a good place to fade out?
Yeah, that totally can be a good place to fade out. Because the question
Oh,
doesn't have to be answered always in the positive, because I mean, like, do you make your way back to the main
You're
road?
not
No,
going
you're
back to
staying
the
over.
road.
You're totally staying over. So you've answered the question. So I'm gonna say that this is a great opportunity since we've gone past the hour to take our first 10-minute break, first break, which is gonna be 10 minutes of the game, and we'll need to consider a couple of things when we come back. One, whose chapter will follow? I don't think it should. Let me see. Suggested it is. Yeah, I mean, like, conceivably we could have another Arcadian chapter, but like, like let's go through. We could conceivably have a structure of like going through everybody's chapter, and then like go back and do somebody else's chapter. After we go through the three chapters, the structure is very malleable, so you don't have to go in order. It's just however you want to do it. And again, if we go out of order, there's no such thing because time is all over the place. Alrighty. So yeah, I'm gonna say that 10 minutes and then consider which chapter you want to have next. Okay. Because that changes the amount of tokens that everybody gets. Like we don't carry over any change tokens to the next chapter. And then the other consideration is there's a couple different modes that you can play this game. You can either keep the rolls the same from chapter to chapter, or you can change it up where players rotate roles. So you can decide on that as well during the break. All right. So we come back according to my clock at the 32 mark. Okay. But 10 minutes. See you in 10.
Oh. But we're still discussing ideas.
So you want me to pause it?
I don't know. It's up to you. I mean,
We
like,
can discuss it in game. I feel like that's
Yeah.
like a thing that people you could show.
Yeah, I mean, so what we were doing coming out of break was discussing whether we wanted to play in the mode of having people change roles for each chapter, and we decided no because that seems more suited for anthology play, and Kay and Robyn really like their characters and want to continue onward, and plus the terrors have secret themes, so they want to continue on with that, and that's perfectly fine. So we're gonna continue on with everybody having the same role that they did, and we're going to go on to the next chapter, which is essentially the Traveler's chapter. So mechanically, each chapter changes the amount of tokens that each role gets. There is no carryover of tokens from chapter to chapter. Okay, so I loaded that up. And for the Traveler's chapter, Arcadian gets 2 tokens since it's just me, and then Travelers get 4, and Terrors get 4. All right. So, and then now the discussion is, since it's the Traveler's chapter, how they want to open up the narration with the description of the music and their description of their environment. And then they have to come up with a question to try and answer, by the end of this particular chapter.
So, I have an idea or two for the question, but I'm also curious if you have any.
I don't have any ideas for the question. I have an idea for the opening scene /
Do you want to handle opening scene and I'll give the question?
Sure.
Mads, what should we do? Should we give question first and then opening scene, or how does that flow?
No, because I mean, like, you want to give the vibes first. So go ahead and describe the music that we hear, the situation that you guys find yourselves in, and anything else that you feel is very evocative of this particular scene that is yours. Yeah.
Okay, so we're in a bar that's attached to an inn. It might be a different inn. Maybe we've actually been traveling for another day or two. And there's someone playing at the piano. It's like this dusty old piano, and there's just a worker playing sort of they're not very good. They're playing a weird kind of disjointed tune that's just barely music on this out of tune piano. And we're sitting at a table, just you might have an alcoholic drink, and I probably have not an alcoholic drink because you wouldn't let me. Yeah. And I think, I think it has been a couple days because we're probably a little bit distressed now. Oh, we still haven't found anyone to fix our car. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the question is, are you happier in this life here than the one in the real world? Or in the I don't want to say real, but in your regular land. So I think we see so he's drinking, and but Sebastian's not nagging you. I don't think he lets you drink, but he your brother. He should be freaking out. He's not freaking out.
Sorry, am I drinking, or are you saying freaking out about the situation?
About the situation.
Oh, okay.
Sebastian, after a day, Sebastian would have been, we need to go. But he's been steadily drinking this red drink and kind of vibing. And Like not like he's been looking obviously like with you to see if there's a place, but he's not pushing it. As he takes another drink, he's like, and like his hair is unkempt and he keeps running his hand through it. It's a little greasy. That guy is terrible on there.
Yeah. You should play something. You play
Should.
piano, right?
And I think he gets up just like and goes over the piano. He's like, excuse me, do you mind if I just and like he says like, do you mind? But he's already kind of sitting himself on the edge as if to scoot onto it. And
Yeah, I think
play that song where the one that we played when I was little, and you played that song that I really liked.
and I'm gonna be stupid. Yeah, Sebastian starts playing Piano Man by Billy Joel.
Oh
I
yeah.
think the other patrons in here are, listening. First the fellow at the piano was rather miffed that you just decided to move on in, but then, realizes that, oh, not bad, not bad, and kind of just like gives you this like thumbs up, and will sit with some other patrons and like listen to what you're doing.
And I think it's a little better. Wait, hold on. Mechanics. Where is that thing? The infographic lets me know how to work with this. No, but it's not. So I'm going to spend the token to no, but you.
Okay, that's fine.
It's actually fucking amazing. He's really great.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah,
It's
go
really
ahead, move
great.
it over to move one token to my list. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm bad at like flipping between open chats. And we get this idea like, oh, Sebastian actually really enjoys playing music. He loves this. This is maybe what, if he hadn't been so onto this idea that he had to, go get the corporate job, do the thing, maybe he would have been a musician.
If you want me to do it, Kay, I can make that change.
Oh yeah, let me do it. I just have to flip from tab to tab to tab. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Can I yes and the no but that you got? can I amplify that you did?
Yeah. I mean, like confirmations are free. It's
okay, cool.
It's the contradictions that are require change tokens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you play for a while and you cycle through a few songs and people are into it. And I think you're when you go to take a break, you're approached by a kind of like a short woman, dark hair, a little bit older, and she says, "You just jumped right in there and started playing, huh? You ever?"
Yeah. My brother gave me a little jibe. He's like grabbing another cup from a passing by waitress that's not meant for him and taking a sip.
My name is Maddie. I run this place. I mean, I own it. The other folks run it. I just collect for the rooms. Ray over there, he's not a professional. He just jumps in every once in a while. Were you considering staying for a spell here? You looking for a job, baby?
Oh, well, no, not really. My brother and I are just trying to find a mechanic, which is really hard. Our car broke down and like he gets kind of like this wistful gaze as he's trying to remember, like how long ago, how far ago. Yeah, our car broke down and we need a new tire, but we have had some trouble getting it.
Well, if you ever just think about it. You know what? Next round's on me for you and your brother.
Oh, thank you. No, he's underage. He's 18. He's not 21. So like, no.
I'm 21.
Drinking age here is not 21, so he can have whatever he likes. I mean, if it's all right with you, it's not illegal. It's not illegal.
Yes, if it's not illegal, okay, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yes.
Well, enjoy. I'll be over here by the bar if you ever need.
Yeah. Actually, Maddie. So if you like, do you know a mechanic?
Not offhand. No, I don't get out much.
Oh, okay. Anyone maybe who's just a guy who's good with a wrench or something, maybe you could help?
Hmm.
Or patch?
I mean, you can ask around, but I keep my nose in my business.
I was asking you, that's asking around. Sorry, sorry.
Only all right.
Right. Thanks. Uh, what kind? And like he goes like he's about to step away, and he's like, what kind of pay is it?
Oh, I mean, free room, free board, free food and drink. It seems like you're making friends. So, what do you need? Someone like
Yeah,
you should get whatever you need.
thanks. That's very nice of you. Um, and he sticks a hand in his pocket where he fiddles with a ring that's sitting
Mhm.
there with a large set stone. Simple band, large set stone. Uh,
Nice.
thanks for a moment. Hey, thanks for the next round. He's gonna go over to the table to
Anytime.
Rex. People
I'm
here.
gonna ask Mark to move a terror token over to the
Hmm.
Arcadian,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to, let's see, give me a second. I want to check on this roll here.
To the Arcadian or the Traveler?
Let me see. Hold on. You would contradict the traveler. Yes, so you'd
Yeah.
move it over to the traveler. Sorry.
Cool.
Okay, and then I'm going to confirm the terror by saying that as you are contemplating the ring on that's in your pocket, as your talisman, I think you are considering this as in soft focus. You were thinking about her, but then you're hearing the clapping, you're hearing the applause, and the yeah, like from the audience when you were playing, and that sweet, sweet siren call of the piano, and how easy it is, how just joyous it was to play.
Yeah.
Rex, what are you doing?
I think this whole time Rex has been sort of just on the piano, like playing chopsticks, just like doodling around, um, and sort of listening to the conversation that they were having a little bit. So when they're done, he's like, um, "Wait, so are you gonna work here?"
I no, that would be ridiculous. That's just I didn't want to be rude. But like as he says that, his eyes kind of look like longingly at that piano.
Uh, we're still trying to get home, right?
Yeah, no, no, of course. That's why I asked the woman Maddie if she knew of a mechanic. Fortunately, she doesn't know anyone. But we should maybe again ask around a little more. Can't just although we're getting free drinks. And apparently 21, 18, 18. She didn't say, I guess, what the legal drinking age, but I guess it's 18 because it's not 21. That's what they usually, 16, 18, and you fit both of those. So I guess you can have the free drink that we're getting.
I don't even. Are we still in America? I haven't seen
In
any
America,
cars this whole time we've been here.
maybe they're Amish. Uh,
That would explain a lot.
yeah,
You
which is why we're probably
see, you see, on the table, as you're talking, someone has put down a platter of different snack items. Not processed. I mean, we're talking cheese and crackers, and they seem home baked, or cookies and such. What do you smell? What do you see when you sit here and then realize, when was the last time you've eaten?
I guess I don't even remember the last time we ate.
I think, yeah, I think it's that crusty bread, that smell, and as that like, and without thinking about it, Sebastian kind of his hand goes out and he touches it, and you just hear that sort of wonderful sing-song crackle. And it reminds him about how the day before they'd meant to travel, his mother was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to have you and Kara here. I'm gonna make your favorite beef stew with homemade bread." Um, and all these things. And and it takes him a moment to realize, yeah, they haven't, they were supposed to be there like 3 days ago. And then B, they haven't eaten in 3 days.
Yeah. Rex is gonna go straight for the cookies. Go straight for the sweets.
What kind of cookies is it? Are they?
Classic chocolate chip. And they remind me of the cookies that our mom used to make.
And then they're not chip though. They're chunk because they're not in that like beautiful formed processed chip size. It's clearly chocolate that's been like unevenly cut with a knife.
Mm.
And
Oh man, it sounds so good.
Yeah. That is one of my signatures I am known for. Be careful, don't play Hungry in a K game.
Sorry.
I will describe good food.
Oh my god.
And so I think, Sebastian had been about to put the bread in his mouth. And he's holding it and he's pausing and he's like, we need to find someone to fix the car. We haven't, put that down, Rex. And I think he kind of like drops his own cup and I think it actually hits the floor and we see some of this red liquid just spill into the crevices of the stones, inking out a sort of map almost.
Oh, a map? I think so. I've taken a bite and I'm chewing, and when I see this, I kind of like spit it out. Like, whoa, wait, is that us? Is this the bar we're in? That's our car.
And I like put an arm around his shoulder and I start to kind of hug him towards the door. We should find someone who can fix the car.
Yeah. Okay. And I dropped my cookie.
I think as you drop the pardon, I think as you drop the cookie, I think it falls to the floor where the liquid had gone, and it almost seems to form like not land masses, but I mean like, just indicators of like as if it's recreating the forest and the places that you had passed in a strange way. Like it's forming something like very three-dimensional on the floor.
And I think like Sebastian is kind of looking at this map as he sort of had tugged Rex towards the door and he's trying to like his thoughts about what was the last thing you remember before we started driving? How long ago was that?
It's like forever ago. I don't even know.
I was I remember before coming to get you, I broke off the engagement.
Oh, that's why Kara wasn't here. Well, why?
Yeah.
What happened?
I just realized I don't love her. I don't know if I ever did. She just, she was smart and athletic and beautiful and, she was in med school. She was going to be a doctor and mom and dad really liked her and she liked me. And I don't even know if I knew her, but, and I did that and I was so worried and we were in the car and then it broke. And that was not recently.
If you check your if you check your phone, you will see the messages. Like somehow your phone still has some power, but you will see the messages. Like her last text message to you was about her schedule. Yeah.
It was about like, hey, I know you said you wanted to do dinner at blank with blank, but I've got to go to a like I have to schedule.
She's on call. Yeah, she was on call.
Yeah, she's on call. And if you look at the history, it's just like that, and it's just like, oh, how you doing? I'm okay. day's all right. Like nothing personal. What do you remember, Rex? We were dancing. And then
Yeah, there was a girl, we danced, we drank, we kept drinking that stuff. And now we're here, I guess. And it's been what, 3 days? A week? I don't know.
um,
What is your like? I'm gonna take out my phone and look at the date. Does it say something unusual? Or wait, do you remember when we left, or when we were supposed to be at our parents' house?
I don't. I don't. I don't. And I think he's looking at this date on his phone, on Rex's phone, and it just he can't. Is that a week from when they left? Is that the day they left? Is that 3 days? Is that a month? He can't remember.
Wait, this is like, because I remember before leaving for our parents, I found out, well, I found out I failed most of my classes, so I can't graduate high school. That is, I guess that's the last thing I remember. And that would mean it's summer, right? So this date can't be right. This is like,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And I just shut, and as you're like, this date can't be right. And I look at the date again. It, my head can't handle it. And I think I push your phone like down in a way because I can't, that's not right. Um, all right. Yeah. Okay. Let's just, hey, and he's going to call out to like everyone in this tavern. Is anyone here a mechanic able to patch a hole in a tire?
If any of our terrors want to say anything or
Mark's
contribute.
smiling.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna spend a token here. Instead of answering you, they just kind of like raise and like play some more. Come on, do more. And they're like some of them start like yelling out suggestions, and someone else like brings you over some more food and drink. Like they're like, no, don't worry about it. Just come hang out with us and party. Let's go. You're the best.
I think Sebastian takes a step forward, but only to push Rex behind himself.
Mhm.
Ah. But like you can see there's like a quiver in his hand. And like he wants, like a part of him really wants to just go back. Because it was just so nice to hear people cheer.
I'm gonna grab the hand that quivered and just like start running towards the door.
You hear you are followed by the applause even before they start trying to call you back. It's like, you were fantastic, play more. It's like, and then they mention songs to you, Sebastian, like that they there's no way they would have known, but they mention all these song names that you do know, and you know in your fingers, not even by heart, by in your fingers. You know these songs, you can play this for these people. And Rex, that door looks awfully familiar. I think that door looks a bit like the door that you saw in the other place that the snake-headed person had come out of.
Oh, Sebastian is the one who actually saw that door.
Oh, okay. So
right.
yeah. So okay, Rex was busy dancing.
I think maybe Sebastian had described it to Rex though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe Rex
So
was that it's the door that the weird snake person came out of.
even if you hadn't seen it, like the description is similar. So
Well, we reach the door and I open it, expecting to be outside the bar.
Um, yeah, you're outside of the bar.
Uh,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think I'm gonna use one of the tokens. So that's the put aside.
Okay.
That's 1. Should have that 6. So as Rex and Sebastian kind of step through the door, I would imagine they find themselves in an in the middle of a forest, like a dense forest, no visible buildings or that other man-made objects around. And as they kind of just step through it, they kind of just stumble through the forest. They stumble upon the a large table, like you would see maybe some medieval noble in a house, like a large table with chairs and a lot of fancy food lying around. And around the table, there's no one sat upon any of the chairs, but they do see, I would say, the snake man kind of just going from plate to plate, setting the utensils and everything up as it kind of just notices the two of you and just kind of welcomes you and beckons you to take a seat. But isn't the newest additions? Come, take a seat. The banquet is soon to begin.
Whoa, is this the snake guy that you talked about before?
Yeah, this is the and he goes to like explain it away, like theatrical actor, this, that, and as all the other weirdness is kind of seeping in, this is the Snake Man. What are
The
you
How do you do?
what are you supping on tonight?
The snake man would really gesture to the plate, and you would see all how do I describe it? You would see like a typical high-end food you would be served in high-end restaurants, like whole roasted chickens, various kinds of salads and other condiments around the table. Nothing that seems too out of place, but you do get a feeling that there is something odd about all of the food prepared.
Rex is like drooling. He's like, "Oh my god, Seb, I'm so hungry."
I I get that, but we shouldn't dine on this, I don't think.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling, but it just looks so good. And I'm just gonna walk towards the table.
And I think we see like my hand like goes for your sleeve and like it gets the cloth, but the grip just isn't firm enough and you slip out as you go closer.
What does it smell like? What is tempting you? Why were you hungry here and not back at the bar?
Yeah, I was hungry back at the bar, but here it's just like there's more, and it's hot. It's like it can smell the freshly cooked chicken and potatoes, and it's like my stomach's gurgling. Um, there are no other distractions here except for this snake guy.
Does this remind you of home?
It's better than home. Hey, you wouldn't mind if I just had like just one piece of chicken.
Who are you asking? Are
Is
you asking
Steve?
directing this at Sebastian
I'm
or
asking
the
this
snake one?
snake guy.
Okay.
The snake man will just gestures towards the food and just say, no, go ahead. Take anything you like.
It's not poisoned, right?
The snake man will let us chuckle and just be, if you would count the like a several life as poison, then you could say so. When you say so,
Sorry, could
you've
you
been
repeat that?
trying so really hard for the last God knows how. No, okay. Okay, man said from the top, the snake man will let out a chuckle. You can go. Only if you would kind of define those things in life as poison. But I believe you've earned this. You've tried so really hard for the last couple of years without really anything to show for it. No encouragement, no real support. But I believe an honest effort deserves some praise. So go on, enjoy your fill.
Yeah, I have earned this. I get nothing at school and from our parents and from anybody. I got like I don't have anything except this food in front of me, and I've earned it. So I'm gonna go and like pick up a chicken leg and just like I'm about to go and take a bite.
Sebastian does not stop you. I think as you say those things, he kind of reflects on the fact that maybe he should have said something about how harsh the parents were towards you. Even though, he was kind of out of the house by the time it really started. He visited, he saw things, he knew. He should have maybe said something. And I think that occupies his mind as you go to take the bite of food.
And I think as the bite hits you, it is the most delicious chicken you've ever had. Like the tender, like the smell just enhances the flavor. And like as it, you feel that warmth spreading out in your body, and that your hunger is being. It feels like your hunger is being sated almost immediately, but you still want to keep eating because it's so delicious. And along with that sort of warm feeling is kind of underscoring that sentiment that the snake guy was saying, like, yeah, you do deserve this. School doesn't matter. You're way better than that. In fact, anyone who tells you that you're not good because you did poorly at school, or that you even need school at all, they don't have your best interests in mind. Like, this is what you deserve because you're the best.
Yeah, like when what I taste is like it's chicken, but also it's like love and validation.
Mm-hmm. It's love and validation that you didn't get from your brother. He was actually trying to stop you from eating it and drinking too. So yeah, it's weird that he would want to. It's weird that he would not want you to feel this.
Yeah. And as soon as I taste that, I like can't stop myself and I just like start eating faster and faster and just like gorging myself on this food.
And it's almost like the food does not end. It will not. The more you take, the more it seems the plates fill. It seems that there is never ending bounty here. You have even favorites that you didn't even realize that you forgot. You started at the chicken, moved to the potatoes, but then see other plates that somehow appear on the table without the snake man moving.
Yeah, what's weirder is that it kind of feels like I'm getting hungrier as I eat more.
Yes.
Rex, maybe you should slow down. You're gonna choke.
I'm so hungry though. I can't stop.
Why does he
I'm
want you to stop feeling good?
sorry, what was that?
Why does he want you to stop feeling good?
Oh, is that the snake man?
I think that's it, your like
In your head.
yeah, in your
My
head
head.
there.
Yeah,
And
why can't you just let me have this?
you can have some, but you're gonna choke. You keep there are bones, I think, in there. Just slow down. And Sebastian like goes to take a step forward and kind of like turn you away from the food.
When I feel like you like maybe put your hand on my shoulder or
Yeah.
my back or something, and I turn around and I like have this look on my face that's just like pure rage. Just
Pull
leave me
back.
alone.
I'm in charge of you. I can't leave you alone.
You don't own me. You were barely even around.
I mean, I went to college. There's a 10-year difference. It's not that I didn't want to be around. I was busy. I was in school and I was studying. And
Exactly, you weren't around. And it was just me and our parents, and I had no one.
I didn't. I should have. And like the guilt is just on his face. Like he's been focusing on the wrong things his entire life, and because other people said that's what matters, and it's not. And he's just like, come on, Rex. I think you've had enough. We've had enough. And he's gonna try and pull you a little harder away from the food.
I think in this case, I'm going to use the last terror token.
Okay.
So that puts us as 0 and travel at 7. Okay. And Sebastian, and I think like as Sebastian tries to pull like to the side, the snake man will kind of interject, not put them apart or anything, just kind of like come into eye shot of both of them. It's gonna be no need to fight here. No need to fight. Why don't we all just sit down and we can talk this through? No, you're not in any hurry to leave, are you?
Yes, we are in a hurry.
In a hurry, yes, but where to exactly? But I'll do that for you. Really.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Really. But I'll do that for you, really.
I still don't understand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my apologies.
Okay.
Maybe you could type the last sentence or something.
Okay, I'll quickly type it in.
Yeah, thank you.
Chat.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, it sounded like he asked, what's out there for you really? Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that does make Sebastian pause. That is you've struck the chord in his chest of like what has been in his mind, and he feels the weight of this ring in his pocket.
Yeah, that statement is kind of going to slither closer and continue. You're just going to go out there and do what exactly? Go back to disappointment, go back to just living the life you never wanted. Day after day, feeling unfulfilled, your dreams left right there on the floor shattered. But here, there's no expectations. There's nothing to hold you back. You can do and be anything you want. So really, why are you even in a hurry in the first place?
I'm going to ask a question to the travelers. Do you feel that you have answered the question that you proposed in the beginning in some way? Are you happier here than in the real world?
Don't know just yet. I think I have Sebastian has a question I think he wants to ask before. What about Rex? Are you happier here?
I think Rex is happier here, or he's been happier here ever since we got here.
Yeah. So I think Sebastian kind of looks at this snake man and he says, okay, so there's food and there's merriment, but is there love? Is there family?
The snake man will kind of how does it is going to kind of lift himself up a bit to appear bigger, kind of spread out the dead arm and just say, well, of course, when I say here you can be anything you want. So that also includes acquiring anything your heart desires. And he would kind of slither to the side and gesture to another door that appeared to have just shown up behind him out of thin air. Why don't we take a step and see just what is it that you truly desire?
Oh, I love that. I think so we can use that door as a step maybe into the next chapter. I think we see them kind of gravitate towards it, or at least Sebastian gravitates towards the door because he thinks this maybe has the answer. And I think he thinks he could be happier here. He just is still holding on to this something, and there still is kind of darkness that has him unsure, but he was really happy in that bar.
Sorry, so I also didn't catch most of that. There's a door?
Yeah.
So there's another
Okay.
door that is offering the chance to see another part of this world that contains what we desire most.
Oh, okay.
And I
So
think,
it's Sebastian is like heading towards the door?
I think Sebastian's heading towards the door. And as he does, each step makes the ring in his pocket grow heavier and heavier as he thinks about what he does want most.
Are you calling a fade out?
I think so.
Okay. Question was answered, at least for one of you. Roll has the terror has no tokens left, and fade out is called. So we can close that chapter, and we will take our next break, which is 5 minutes, okay, to get up and stretch and bio break and all that. So I'll see you back in 5 at the 26 mark. Okay.
Dreams.
Okay.
Okay, so we were talking about like how fast or how little we're spending tokens. So the game says during a contradiction, the role passes change, the tokens, to the role whose detail is being changed. And I was saying that I don't want to change anything. The role that I'm supposed to contradict is the terror, and I'm like, I like what they're doing. I'm not going to change a damn thing. So
And I mentioned this in the beginning. I find myself really enjoying a lot of belonging without belonging games, but I'm terrible with them in the sense that unless they have like an exact token exchange for like using a token lets you do this, I'm terrible at that system. Like, so if I can point out like, okay, yeah, that move I just did is a token, then I'm like, okay, I get that. But when it's a little more nebulous like this, I feel like I'm so bad.
Yeah, and we're just so good at yes-anding each other in general. I think just it's hard to be like
good
and
improv players.
I know.
Yes.
And
No,
I
we
think
are.
I think maybe we have been holding back on the terror a little bit, where I think maybe we're feeling we have to spend a token to do anything. Where I think we could just be like, oh yeah, and the tree grabs you and strangles you to death, and then that's when you're like, nope, no, we're going to spend a token on that. I
Right.
mean, not that
Yeah.
bad, but like I think we need to push a little bit harder so you have something to push
Well, I
back
mean,
on.
like, and that's the point of it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like with the terror contradicting the traveler. Like the traveler can say something as innocuous as like, "I'm going to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich," and the terror adds some, nope, not peanut butter and jelly. That kind
Pineapple
of
in it.
thing. Yeah, so that kind of thing makes sense to me. But again,
Yeah.
me contradicting the terror, I'm like, no, I mean, the terror should go like, have at it.
Wild, go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah. And it's not your role to like protect the travelers at all. So that's
No.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, and,
I
and like I'm
in my
confirming the traveler. I'm sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead, Dom.
yeah, I also think in my case as a terror, it's also because it kind of says that the terror kind of creates like this subtle
Hmm.
like usually I'm kind of trying to lean into this subtleness of it and not really go balls to the wall and
Yeah.
just stay. The ground opens up and something shoots up. So I'm trying to so I think I'm trying to do something subtle and I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity to interject that.
Yeah.
But I also really like what the travelers are doing, so I never really wanna.
I know, right?
I
I mean,
know.
my God, I'm like, I want to know that. I mean, just this last chapter. I mean, like, we just found out so much about Rex and Sebastian. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to confirm like what they're dealing with,
Yeah.
and like you two are doing a great job of like like I'm terrified because I mean like like you guys are offering them like so much better than what they had in the real world. Oh my God, it's like I'm not changing a damn thing. What? No, not changing it. Yeah, this is very difficult. Thanks, Graham. Um,
Damn.
but now we're going to be going into. I assume that we're going to go into the terrors chapter, which is going to be great. So you guys can go hug out and be more overt with your stuff. So let me set this up in the grid that I have here. Terror, and then you guys will have to figure out like between yourselves or what have you the kind of descriptive music that you want to give as a vibe, and then like your opening narrations, like however you want to add to the details of the environment the travelers find themselves in, and then come up with a question like between the two of you that should be answered by the end of the chapter. Okay, and I will add the tokens to the table right now. So travelers get 2. I mean, again, yeah, this kind of token currency is really tough, like for story games, I will say, because you're never sure like when it can be activated, and like you try to follow the chart, and even with following the chart, it's kind of weird. And what I've done is, hold on, let's see, 2. Okay, and then terror gets 6.
Woo.
6. So what I've added to the table is like, Arcadian tokens, if contradicting the terror. So I've added that bit so this way it's easier to figure out like, when can I use this? Okay.
Awesome.
Traveler tokens, if contradicting the Arcadian. Terror tokens, if contradicting the traveler. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if that helps. And that should make it a little bit easier. Okay.
Cool.
And then, yes, I mean, so between the two of you, if like, whomever wants to try and do
Can we start off with Sebastian having gone through the door?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Dom, do you want to describe what that's like over there?
I'm not really too sure how, what the perfect, not perfect, but what the place with Sebastian and access to desire might be.
Mm.
Well, you don't even have to. Maybe this is a situation where you employ the other improvisational technique, which is ask questions. So,
I have an idea, I think.
Go for it.
Sebastian, what was your fiance's name?
Kara?
Kara. I think when you open the door, it opens onto your favorite restaurant back home, and Kara is sitting at the table as if you had just walked away and left for a moment and come back.
Cool.
and like looks up at you and like has a huge beaming smile.
So is Rex there? Sorry, just a quick question.
I'm thinking maybe we should separate Rex and Sebastian
Oh,
still
for the
eating.
moment. Have them come
That's so
eventually tap in.
delicious. Okay.
Go for it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Go for it.
You're both eating at different places.
Or is Rex still back with the Snake Man?
Yeah, that's why I think he was still gorging, right?
Yeah, so I think he sees Kara and she's smiling,
Mhm.
and he looks around and they're at Boca de Beppo,
Nice.
which they never go to because she's like, Italian is too many carbs.
Mhm.
It's not healthy for you. And and he kind of just like looks around, like does like kind of a full like 360.
There's basically the usual clientele, and then like there's soft music playing, but the lights and the colors here in Boca de Beppo is a little bit different from what you're used to, I think. They're dimmer and more like autumn colored. So even if there was any other kind of colors here, I mean, like, all you're seeing in the pattern of the carpet is like autumn leaves, and like on the drapery, it's like, a dark red or a dark orange. Same with the cushions on the seats and so forth. So
And if
everything's,
you
go ahead. Yeah.
oh, and if you pay attention really close, you can see that the chairs and tables are like almost growing out of the ground with those dark trees.
And I think, Kara, what are you doing here? Did you see Rex? As he kind of like
Oh,
takes a step closer to the table.
oh, is Rex coming? Oh, well, we can get another plate for him. And you have like the big bowl of pasta in the middle, and she just takes a whole bunch off. She's like, dig in, it's just arrived. And she just like starts tearing into it.
I thought you were, didn't you just tell me you were going vegan? As he like looks at her, like in this pile of like fresh steaming bolognese is there. Like
Yeah.
he like takes a seat.
Vegan? That's, I don't think so.
Um, right.
I think I'm just gonna contradict at this point. Give me a second. I just want to like to do this. I think vegan, in terms of, hold on. Oh my God, I can't even do this. Burp, burp, burp. 7. Okay. Yeah, I think she says it's like, vegan. No, I think I've gone very paleo, and I think it's turned from a thing of a bolognese a into um, a dish full of a brisket, like
Nice.
a brisket with wood branches coming out of it. This is normal. This is fine,
Yeah.
and she's literally tearing into it with her hands
Mhm.
as she pulls out, like, the wood branches, and starts to possibly chew on the wood branches, as well as like tearing off pieces of meat and going, you try this, it's like, it's really good, seasons the meat awesomely.
Um, and I think he like reaches out and like pulls off a branch and snaps it in his fingers, almost like taking a look at the inside. He's like, Kara, I thought you said you never wanted to see me again.
I think I was just pulling away because I was too scared. I don't I don't know how to tell you this, but I can never stop thinking about you. Maybe I just don't have the words to tell you all the time. And I suppose I've been coming off really cold, but you're the most important thing in my life. And I I think I think we should get married right here, right now, like tonight. Let's just run away.
Um,
I'm sorry to interject. I don't
mhm.
plan on using a token. It's just that we never established a question
Oh yeah,
for
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Mark,
it's
Yeah.
I said
excited.
I send something in the chat for you, just so we can kind of figure out the question real quick.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so the question for this chapter, what I'm thinking of is, am I enough?
Oh, that's a great question, Dom.
Yeah. Will
Uh,
you will you take what you deserve? Yeah.
yeah. Or yeah, am I enough? And I
Yeah.
think Rex, she says that, and Rex puts a twig in his, not Rex, brain. I'm looking at the name in the corner of the screen. Sebastian puts a twig in his mouth and like chews on it and feels the pain as like a splinter sticks into his gum and tries to ignore it as he looks at this smiling face that says that she loves him. He's like, what do you love about me?
You're so sure of yourself. Like you know that you have all of these great qualities, but you're not full of yourself. You try really hard and work really hard to get what you want because you know what you want.
And what's gonna be different? And you just hear like that crunch as his teeth smash into the wood, and we see like at the edges like small drips of blood as he's eating in the fantasy.
What's going to be different is, I mean, you're perfect. It's me that has to change. I feel like I've just been holding back because I was too scared that I wasn't good enough for you. And I think if I just let myself be myself and just tell you how I feel and just accept the love that you have for me, then I think this is going to work out a lot better. And I think I'm going to spend a token there to turn the pain of eating the branches to every time like it there's like a little wince of pain at first, but then it just like spreads and it's just like almost like anesthetic pleasure to it.
Oh my god, dopamine. Um,
Yeah.
I want to like let's like as this is happening, I want to know where Rex is
Yeah,
at this point.
pin move.
Rex is still eating because is no one has stopped him, I guess. Um,
Your favorites are all there again, like the plate after plate after plate just seems to make themselves appear underneath your fingers, and with each of these plates of favorite foods or delicious foods or foods that give you so much joy, what kind of memories are going into your head right now as you put each bite, or excuse me, yeah, put each bite into your mouth and start to chew?
I think there are memories of when I was little, like before school became really hard. Before we started like actually doing things in school. And Sebastian is there. He's like a kid still, and I guess I'm really little then, maybe like 4 years old, and he's 14 and he's playing with me, and I'm happy because nothing matters yet. No one has any expectations of me.
I think you're seeing yourself there as you're eating these dishes and remembering these things. It's almost like the snake man has gone away and it's faded out of your vision, and then when lights, when it comes up again in this place, you see beyond the table, it's like Sebastian is 14, and he's coming up to the table. And then as he's coming up to the table, you see your hands. They're smaller now, as if you're small again. And he's happy to see you. Sebastian is happy to see you. It's like, what are you doing, squirt?
Oh, hey Sebastian, I'm just playing.
It's like, you know how to do this puzzle, right? I mean, and then he'll he'll kind of like, hint at like, a couple of the puzzle pieces and say, it's like, you can do this with it. You can make this picture.
I think, yeah, basically we work together to finish the puzzle. And I'm like, yay, we did it. Thanks, Sebastian.
Absolutely. And then he like, he musses up your hair, and then, you see him walk off.
Sebastian, no, stay here.
I kind of wanna yes and the Arcadian here, and as Sebastian's kind of walking off, Rex kind of sees him kind of like get older, change clothes, like to the time like he goes to college, and you see uh, Rex and Sebastian's parents kind of walk into Rex's view and kind of like maybe berate him for uh, bad test result that he recently got in school.
Um,
You'd be
Rex,
7. Yeah. Like Rex would be 7 when Sebastian goes off to college, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, not him.
I'm sorry, I did my best. I don't know, math is hard. My teacher hates me.
That's no excuse. You need to just knuckle down and do better. I mean, study. I mean, it, it can't be that hard. And no teacher hates their student. You just need to buckle down just like Sebastian. That's all.
I'm not as smart as Sebastian. I can't do it.
You don't have to be as smart. You just have to be as you have to be efficient. You have to just be work smarter, not harder.
Oh, okay, I'll try.
And then I think at the try, I think you will see the scene like where your mother seems to recede and your father recedes into the background, and then out comes from the darkness again. Maybe Sebastian comes into into the room again, wherever this room is, and he's a little older, still in college. You're a little older, still trying to get through school. And they're congratulating him because of, I guess, making not only honor roll but also like whatever society that his major belongs to. He's gotten full honors and accolades and possibly even news of a possible job at a high end firm. You see these congratulations. You see these these beaming faces.
Um, I see like I start see, I just see these faces that are all like congratulating Sebastian, and I just like throw a potato at the crowd, and I just sort of like, I'm trying to ignore it, I guess. Um, of course, Sebastian would get that job. He's so perfect. And I look down, and there's like more failed tests just like on the table, and I'm in high school now, so there are like lots of F's, and my teachers are all looking down on me as well. Um, I'm like, what can I say? I did my best. I guess school's not for me.
I think as you say that, I think maybe a part of the darkness opens up into a different place. Where did you feel happy? Was it dancing? Or was it at the bar? which place in the never was gave you the most joy? And it doesn't even have to be something that we've mentioned already. Maybe it's something completely different. What comes into Rex's mind?
It was just all the times that Sebastian and I were wandering around when it was just the two of us.
That lonely road. That lonely road again. And, it lays before you. And maybe a Sebastian is there, is looking at you and going, "What are you waiting for? We gotta find somebody to fix this damn car. Why is there no mechanic around here? What the hell?"
Right? It's like maybe they are all Amish.
Oh, great. What I wouldn't give for even just a carriage. We'd figure it out, right? I mean, like, it can't be that hard.
If we had just walked there instead, we'd probably be there by now.
Yeah, right. You okay?
Yeah, I'm I'm okay.
What does that look for? You give me this weird ass look. What the hell?
I I I think we should go.
Yeah, I mean, we need to find a mechanic for this car. Jesus.
Yeah, we do. And I think I'm full. I just had a huge meal and I think I'm finally done.
Okay. I mean, we've been walking. Where that? Are you okay? I mean, did you did you eat some shrooms or something like on the way down here? And I didn't see.
Honestly, I have no idea. Maybe I did take shrooms and that's what all of this is. Um, and so Rex is kind of at one end and you, Sebastian, are like right there and the door is behind you. And I'm just gonna like walk through this Sebastian
Hmm.
and like towards the door.
Okay. Alrighty. I mean, you can use a token for that if you want, because that's kind of like,
Okay. Yeah, I guess that is sort of
yeah, like
um
adding a detail, changing a detail. That's great. I love it. Okay.
I'm giving it to the Arcadian, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Cool.
Yes. So you walk through the door, and I'm going to say that you find yourself, again, you find yourself down another crunchy, lonely road with these, and you see the moving trees again. There is music piped in the background, but it's not the twangy string music that like banjos or mandolets that you might have heard before from when you were in the first town. This actually sounds familiar to you. It sounds like that fancy high-end restaurant that Sebastian always liked going to, that he took you to every once in a while when you went to go visit him. And yeah, I mean, as you go up a hill, slight hill, and then down, you see that the restaurant is there. You see its familiar building, its pretentious self, like just sitting out there in that autumn leafed field. The road leading right to the door, and you can hear that piped music coming from it.
I'm just gonna start walking towards the, the restaurant.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna say that you seem to walk forever and then not at all. And when you find yourself at the door, I think it's got like those two, what is it, side windows or whatever, so you can look into the restaurant. And I think you see Sebastian talking with someone. Can't quite tell who it is.
I'll knock on the glass. Sebastian.
Sebastian, you can see like through the glass of the front door that it looks like Rex is there.
Sebastian, let's get out of here.
Uh, and I think he kind of blinks and looks over at Kara. He's like, we should ask the waiter to let him in, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Invite him in. And she takes your hand across the table and says, "We can tell him the great news together."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, and like he looks and he feels the hold of her hand, and God, does he just want to say yes? But as he's looking at her, he's like, I'm not the person you just said that you liked. I question everything in my head every several minutes. I don't know if I want to be doing this. I don't think we can make it work with your schedule and things. And I don't want to ruin. I don't want you to ruin your goals for me. That wouldn't be fair of you to ask if maybe what I want isn't what I thought it was.
I've been thinking about what I want a lot too. And I realized that I have been prioritizing my career over us. And I'm not going to give up what I want, but I think maybe taking a little break, vacation, find a little place in the woods. Um, and when she says woods, there's like little branch tendrils that kind of like wrap from her hand around into yours, kind of like binding your hands together.
Oh my god.
Maybe we should find a little place in the woods and just stay there for a while. You deserve it. We both deserve it.
I think, Rex, somehow you are able to hear this. You hear something. You hear this person talking with Sebastian. You can see the stricken look on his face, and you hear these words, and you're like, who the hell is that? Because what comes out to you sounds like breaking branches. You hear the words as if it's by something cracked and cracking and crumbly and dry.
I'm gonna just like run through the door, like barge in.
I'm gonna use a token to
Oh,
change.
Yes.
So as it takes kind of runs to the door and kind of adjust, I imagine that these doors kind of open outwards just for the dramatic effect. So as it takes kind of pulls the doors open, the doors will just immediately shut, closed, and the snake man is gonna just quickly appear. Okay, that appeared. So those gonna shut. Yeah, gonna shut. They're gonna take a step back, and the snake man is just gonna kind of sprint, if a snake can sprint, out from the shadows and kind of coil themselves around Rex, but not in a way that constricts Rex. Like Rex can still like has a bit of space to move around in. Can still move their arms and legs a bit, and just kind of coil around them and just kind of be like, no, 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 no. Can't you see that he's in the middle of a very emotional speech?
I don't care. This isn't real. That's what's even happening there. That's not. Does he think that's Kara?
I see the
He,
blood dripping down your brother's chin.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, you see the blood just dripping down
Oh,
your brother's chin, like coming from the corners of his mouth and like starting to go down his neck.
the snake man will kind of look at Rex and just be, I'm just, he's just being shown what he truly desires. You don't really want to stand between your brother and his happiness, do you?
I'm just gonna yell, Sebastian! Sebastian, what about me?
Do you hear something?
Oh, just
And
the
like
music.
straining his ears, like he can hear it. It's like distant. Um,
You
that's
hear, you hear something, and the words come out as as if you're hearing Rex, but Rex as a young boy.
Wouldn't that be contradicting the tether in this instance?
Am I? Mm, hold on. I don't know. I don't know. I've lost track. I've lost track.
There, no but.
Okay,
Which one
that's
was
fine.
that?
Uh,
Um,
I don't know. I have no
you're-
idea. Well, because I mean, like you got two travelers, and then like one's trying to break through, and the other one's like like kind of whatever. I think I was like trying to confirm what you heard, like you heard something, and like trying to tell you what it was. So I
I
feel
think
like that's
maybe that was, but I can't know but.
I think that's a yes and, isn't it?
I think that's a
yeah,
yes
that's
and.
what I thought. I thought it was a yes and. So
Yeah, okay.
I think it's a yes and.
Okay,
It's a
I
yes
just-
and for me.
no, that's fine. It's
It's a
hilarious.
little confusing.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
so much stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
much
Yeah,
stuff going
I think I just misunderstood and I thought that you were making it so that instead of hearing Kara's voice, he heard the access instead. Like,
Mm.
Mm.
so I thought that was maybe a contradiction, but it might actually be a yes and.
Well, no, because he's hearing them both at the same time. Like he's hearing
Yeah, yeah.
Kara like at the same time. Like that little boy Rex voice is poking through his consciousness. So, yeah, I'm yes anding that.
Yeah, okay. Sorry for that.
Yeah, he's in the
Interpretation.
car. Yeah, I don't think that's. I don't. I want. I want love and I want happiness, and I don't. I don't think it's you. I don't think it's ever been you, and I'm sorry because that's not fair to you. And I was wrong. And I think he reaches over and we see the ring on the hand of this Kara, and just like he did a few days ago, he pulls it off of her finger.
Yeah. And she still has like the same smile on her face. And she's still holding her hands with the branches intertwined. And
Goes to like pull the hand away.
she says, I understand. You have to love yourself before you can love me. And you're worthy of whatever you want, whether that's me or not. And if what you really need is to understand that you deserve everything, and the restaurant kind of like starts fading away, like, then you'll get that.
Like he like brings a hand up to his mouth. He like goes to wipe and he sees all the blood
Mm.
and like the anesthetic pleasure juxtaposed against the visual of the viscous red blood that reminds him of the drink, that reminds him of where he is and where he's not. And he hears Rex's voice and he like stands up so quickly that the chair falls behind him.
I'm gonna spend a token because I think you're not able to stand up because the chair has been weaving itself through your body. The
Oh,
limbs
yeah.
have come up and kind of like entangled, like gone through your legs, and you're kind of rooted to that chair now.
I'm actually going to contradict. I'm going go ahead and do the token
Hey!
thing. I'm gonna remand this. Hold on. Okay, hold on. My tokens. All right, here we go. One, and then I'm contradicting the terror. Give me a
Nice.
second. Okay, back there. Okay, so I'm saying like okay, that you are breaking out of this, and any of the tendrils that have been trying to insinuate themselves into you are now. You hear a distinct crack. You're almost afraid that your legs have broken in this rush to stand up, and then you realize dimly, and especially when you look behind as everything starts to fade backwards, that the chair that you were on, the tendrils that were trying to dig themselves deep into you, have crashed behind you, and you see this big pile of branches and twigs that have fallen behind.
And I see like the pattern of them, and I realize that they were like coming over me as like a shell, like
Yes.
to wrap around me, to lock me in there. And
Yep.
I kind of step away and I look at this smiling Kara and I'm like, you're not real.
Yeah, and you can see now that she is like mostly composed of branches and vines twisted together.
Rex, were you
Rex.
calling out?
Yeah.
I've been calling out this whole time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think Sebastian finally calls back and is like, Rex, Rex. And he starts like running for the door and towards where he hears Rex's voice.
Rex, you're still encompassed in the snake creature. Do you? Well, I'm gonna give you the option. To I'll use I'll use my last token to help you out with this. Um, it's like I think that you're able to insinuate at least one arm outside of the snake, who's cradling you, but not so loosely that he's letting you go. And I just want to know what you're doing to get away from this this creature. As
Um,
you hear, I think you hear Sebastian's call back, like, Rex, Rex, where are you? You know,
uh, I'm I'm gonna no, but do we have any tokens left?
Traveler, yes.
Oh yeah.
We have so
Um,
many.
I actually want to maybe contradict your contradiction
Sure.
because I think that Sebastian should save Rex.
Ooh.
Nice.
So yeah,
Um,
you can totally give me a token back, down to 3 and then I'm up to 1. That's fine.
Yeah, I think, yeah, so I think we get that, and the door kind of bursts open as Sebastian pushes through it and, like, without even thinking about it, just lifts Rex up like he's that 4-year-old again. Just like picks him up so easily and swoops him out of the way of danger and kind of starts moving and is like, we need to get out of here. This isn't real. None of it's real. And the blood is like soaked kind of into his shirt. And he looks back. It's not. It's telling us it's not real what we want, but it's not. It's not.
yeah, you
And so
think? Let's
okay.
go.
I think yeah, we need to just
The restaurant is turning into the carpet that had autumn leaves on is now turning into a carpet of real autumn leaves crunching underneath your feet. The furniture is starting to fade into the darkness and bark of actual branches and fallen trees. And some of these that are intact, the columns are turning into actual trees that are trying to snatch at you both. And where are you running to?
I think the first thought on Sebastian's mind is the bar, because at least it was safer there.
The bar with the piano.
The bar with the piano.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow, I guess.
The lonely road crunches beneath you, in front of you. It is now nighttime here, dark like the forest. The trees are hemming in closer now. They're not swaying anymore, but they are reaching out for you. They're reaching out for you both. Somehow you can still see. You're not sure like where the light is coming from, but you're still able to see this road that leads maybe back where you came from or back out into the never was that. Go ahead.
I wanna yes and the Arcadian and say that as Alex and Sebastian run uh, on the pathway, they eventually make it back to their car. So they're back at their car. It's the middle of the night. Their car is there parked on the side of the road. The tires still a flat tire as they remember it.
And I think there's the light in the distance on the road uh, starts pulsing in the darkness. And as you like kind of watch it resolves into flashers, and it's a AAA truck that has come. Someone drives up with a truck, a tow truck, and someone gets out. He's got the blue jumpsuit on. It says, someone from some bar said that you were looking for a mechanic.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, our tire. Uh, it's broken. Our broken tire.
Oh, do
Right,
you have a
Seb?
spare?
Spare was also broken.
Oh, no worries, I got you. And he goes to the back of the truck and fusses around a bit and gets one of the little donut tires. So this will be a jiffy, 15 minutes.
minutes.
Do you have a card?
Of course, yeah. And he pulls out a little AAA mechanic card. It's like buck on it. You're members, right?
Our parents are. They're
Oh,
also they're signed on the car.
great. Then you're not going to owe a dime. This is all on us. I mean, all on them, I suppose, right? And he quickly changes the tire. So should be all good to go. Pats the hood. Just give a call on there if you need anything else. It's a long way from here to anywhere else, but I can take you where you need if you need to. I got you around. And he drives away, and your car has been fixed.
That just happened.
I'm not sure, and I think like Sebastian like brings his hand to his mouth. Is there still blood there? There's still the blood there, and he looks toward the light where the bar should be, and he
It's still
feels this,
there.
yeah, he feels this deep angst, this yearning in his chest. Should we double check?
Double check if the bar is there.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's already late, right? What's the harm in another night?
I think there's a piano at our parents' place. Well, we could go there instead.
Yeah, they haven't let me use that since I was taking lessons as a kid.
Well, it's probably better than that dingy old thing at the bar.
And there's this this real pregnant silence. It's like Sebastian just doesn't respond and kind of like stares out at the light hovering over the door of the inn. And you see like his hand fisting in his pants.
Is the ring still there?
Ring's still there.
Hmm.
Ring, but it's also because wait, there's a ring, but there's also a ring that's not a ring. There's twigs against it from what he pulled off the Not Kara.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my arm around Sebastian and just be like, come on, bro, let's go. I'll drive.
Yeah. I don't think I can drive right now. You're always a really good driver, though.
You think I'm a good driver?
Yeah. Did you know it took me 2 times to pass my road test?
No way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what? Even I passed on my first try.
Yeah, you did great.
Yeah.
And like, is Rex bringing him to the passenger door?
Yeah, I think we're kind of walking and my arm's still around you.
Yeah, and I think if you keep your arm around his shoulders and walk him to the passenger door, he gets in.
And
But
when you sit down, everything seems totally cool, except for that the seats are upholstered in snakeskin.
That's pretty great.
It's fantastic. Holy shit!
Um,
Oh,
this this I didn't have snakeskin seats.
Yeah. It's-
And
This
I'm going to spend
little
a token to contradict that. Like
Oh, okay.
you remember having snakes in your
Yeah, yeah,
seats.
he says that, and then like in his head, we see a flashback of him making a fucking rash decision after breaking up his engagement. Yeah,
oh
fucking
my
put snakeskin on his
god!
seat.
First company car or whatever the hell, like they got from the company or something. Yeah, you can pick your upholstery. Oh my god, why? Shit.
So, and just he leans to the sink, but you'll notice Rex, he doesn't look at you at any moment. His eyes are always towards that light.
That light blinks very invitingly, and maybe as you're looking at it, you hear raucous laughter. Maybe somebody thumping the keys. Not as good as you, though.
But we see as that's happening, he hears that and he wants to reach for the door handle, but as he does, the connection of his eyes finally breaks and he sees Rex's face on the other side of the door. And he knows, but Rex needs him more. And he grips his hands into the seat as if to anchor himself, not trusting himself unless anchored to stay in place.
You good to go, bro?
Just drive. I've got you. If you're here, I'm always good.
All right, let's go. And we start driving off.
And as you drive off, the steering wheel grabs your hands back just a little bit. Little twigs.
I feel like that's a fade out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even care about the tokens anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fudge? Holy shit!
Did it get out? Is that them getting out, or is it them taking it?
I am in so much in the Twilight Zone right now.
No, what is real? What is not?
Oh god, even I'm scared now. I'm like, oh my god. Ah, okay, yeah, we can totally fade out. That's fine. Yeah.
Damn.
So,
That was good.
do we want to do? Okay, so I mean, like, we've got 40 more minutes essentially, but I want to leave time for stars and wishes, so we could conceivably, like, kind of close out and either, like, leave it there or have maybe an epilogue of sorts.
Yeah. That's my Nightmare on Elm Street ending. So if you want to continue off of that.
Yeah. I'm gonna like, like as the Arcadian, I'm going to just take advantage of this and just kind of give like a little bit of a close or at least an
Yeah.
epilogue for my bit. And I think, as you drive, the twilight gets deeper. Maybe you see stars come out, but the canopy also increases where you start to see these trees again along the side of the road, and they seem to be dancing in a non-existent wind and beckoning further down the road. There's stars that are coming out, but then maybe they're being blotted out by the trees that are starting to reach towards each other as their leaves fall on the road that you drive on. And they start to entwine as if to block out the light or to create a tunnel, perhaps, that you see. There's no sound except possibly the crunching of leaves underneath your tires. Did the terrors, sorry, or the travelers want to add anything to this.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's hard to add. Oh, sorry. Were you asking the terrors or the travelers?
Both.
I think I turn on the radio and Piano Man is playing.
Nice.
Dom, were you going to say something?
No, I just agreeing with Mark that I don't really have anything to add.
Oh, okay.
I really like this Twilight. Is it over? Is it not over? Ending.
And I think
Yeah.
there's a strangeness as well. Piano Man starts to play, and we watch as, you know, Sebastian relaxes a little more into the sea, like kind of releases the death grip and closes his eyes. But for some reason, despite the fact that it's so dark around them, they're still in the corner of his eyes, this pitch of light. And he looks backwards and realizes that it seems no matter how far they get or where they go, he can always find where the light is if he decides to go back. It's always calling for him.
Oh.
It's made its mark.
Mm. Ding! Oh my God.
Good stuff.
Okay. Oh, good stuff. Oh, congrats, everyone. Holy crap, a doodle doo. That was an amazing story. Never ending, possibly. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So, stars and wishes. For those not familiar with this, or even if you are, stars are things that you appreciated and loved about today's game, gameplay, each other, role play, and wishes. I mean, would you play this again? What do you wish, you could do with, again, another playthrough of this? Would you run it? Would you facilitate it and such? Anything. Yeah. Go for it. I mean, this was an amazing one shot. Thank you so much for joining me at my table. Holy crap. Woo. And I can start if you want. Oh my God. You know what? I'm gonna. Damn it! I'm gonna take my facilitator host the advantage. Okay. So stars for the two travelers. Oh my gosh. I loved the characters of the brothers. I was kind of getting a little touch of the supernatural, with the Winchesters, but then I was also like, here's two dudes that are like, lost out in the woods and they're getting involved in some weird shit. But it got really tense, like, with our terrors. Thank you very much. Oh my God, ramping the shit up. The Snake Man introduction was great, and then just like the promise of happiness, which happiness can be terrifying. It's like, what does it mean? What does success mean? What does happiness mean? Where do you get your jollies? That kind of thing. And that's so fucking scary. Oh my God. And thank you for doubling down or leaning into my imagery for any of the descriptions and narrations that you did, because I mean, like, it just carried it all the way through, and I loved it. I loved you all weaving details that you picked from before and then just ran with them. I appreciate that so much. Wishes, fixing this character keeper so it's a little bit more usable for online play. But I mean, like, again, this is a test for me too, because this is the first time I've run it after only playing it once. So thank you again for your patience and consideration for doing this. And it was an amazing story. Oh my God. Stars, 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 stars. So that's me.
I'll go next. Yeah. Same super, super great characters. I love the brothers. I like how connected they were, even though they were so totally different, and their little interactions were great. And the way they responded to all the different settings was really fun to watch. My co-terror adding great stuff as well. Oh my God, the snake guy is just like, I would never have done that, and I love that it was there and that we got to work it together. And Matt, yeah, thanks for putting everything together, adding so many great descriptions as the Arcadian, just keeping everything rolling. And yeah, wishes. Yeah, I have the same kind of, I love the BOB games, but unless there's a specific like do this to do this thing, I always have such a hard time with it, because we always play with folks who are like, yeah, we're telling the story together, and just like going into it with like more of a focus of like, okay, this is my thing, I need to push for this thing. But yeah, I would definitely run it again, or fill it again, or play it again. Oh, my secret theme was pride. So I was trying to like get everyone to be like, oh yeah, you deserve this. And I think it wound up like just being taken by the forest, and everyone played along with that great. So yeah, stars all around, super fun, loved it.
I can go next. So for my stats, first off, a big thanks to everyone here for playing their characters and making this really great story together. So give you all, so I believe all of you should give yourselves a round of applause. Well, you did great. I really like this. I think I would very much be down to play like another round of this in the future. I really enjoyed the dynamic between the brothers and the horrific imagery that my co-author was able to provide, as well as mods and all the weird and whimsical energy that we should be able to bring as the Arcadian. For the wishes, the only wish I have is kind of related to myself, because looking back at it, I realized that I've done pretty much only like physical descriptions of the things that were happening, and I believe it could have gone better if I've gone more into the other senses, the smell, the sound, the feel of it. But hindsight is 2020. But I believe that's something like I wish I could have maybe gone and added like those little extra details to make it more horrific in my case, given what my role was.
I can go. Yeah, the star. I think you did a pretty good job with the descriptions, actually. Like the Snake Man's description was pretty detailed, which was cool. And it was cool that the terrors did have this sort of character that was sort of the embodiment of the terror, I think. Even though he was a little bit he was very like friendly in a scary way. And like, yeah, the terrors, the imagery and stuff that you guys brought up was like really good and really scary and awesome. This Oh, and yeah, I really liked Kay, how you played Sebastian. Like, I feel like you just played him really well, and the ending that you gave him was like this sort of bittersweet ending. Whereas I thought that was a really interesting choice, because for Rex, I was just like straight up like it's a good ending for him. He's happy. But then for you, it's just like so much. It's still so sad, which is like really cool. Like, I think that's you made the right choice with that. Yeah, I wish my wish is that the Arcadian. I feel like there wasn't enough room for you, or something, because like the Travis and the Terrors were just like doing everything, and I was like, oh no, like I hope Mads isn't like bored, because
I
like
am never bored watching characters work. Are you kidding me? Well, you haven't spent enough time in my between game yet, so you don't know. I mean, like, I am there watching you all. I'm like, oh my god, this is gold. So
mm,
no, I felt fine. I mean, I feel bad if you felt like I wasn't doing enough, but I mean, like, for me, I was having so much fun, like reacting, like, oh my god, that's amazing, because your characters were so rich in detail. Like the details we found out, he broke off the engagement, Rex failed out of school, what the hell. I mean, like, I was not expecting this stuff at all, at all.
Is this the real Mercer effect with the host just sitting back and just watching?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, I don't watch Critical Role, but I mean, I'm just gonna say that, like, I love enjoying the engagement between everybody else, because then that means people are really sitting in it and immersing themselves in it. That's what I enjoy the most. And so, yeah, like, such a voyeur about it. Sorry.
oh,
Also,
that's awesome.
apologies, I just wanna interject and say that my team as the terror was. I was going for the religious angle because we had religion and cult in the interest sector part of lines and bells, but I believe I played very much more into the temptation part of it.
It was good. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was really great. Thank you.
Robyn, were you good? Or I don't want to interrupt you if you weren't finished doing kind of dialogue.
I guess the last thing I was gonna say was that I totally would play this again, but I would want to try out the terror role. Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty fun.
It seemed fun.
Awesome. Yeah, so first and foremost, I definitely play this again. Thorn slightly to myself, I think I pulled us into a pretty psychological area, so I would like to maybe try it next time and explore a little bit more of some of that pastoral. But I blame myself for that, as I think I wrote in chat. But I really enjoyed the game. I like, getting to confer with my fellow traveler. I see, like, I love psychological horror. That's probably like my favorite section of horror. So like I do it to myself. So I really thought, I thought the terrors were great. I liked that we had one terror that was a lot more kind of sensory and evocative with what Marc was doing, where we had like an actual figure presentation from Dom. So I think that played off very well with each other. It felt like there's always, in my opinion, some mild concern when you have two people, quote unquote, playing the same character, that they may step on each other a bit or have trouble identifying or differentiating what they do versus what the other person does. And my so I think you guys, I think having that differentiation section there was great. And let me just say this: I love psychological horror. I think this is a fucking fantastic game. Like the thorn there, like this was a great game. I had a fantastic time. Mads games are just great. I think I said this at the stop of the hour. I think you're great. I loved your elements. I think you put in things great. I think we all struggled a bit with the token economy and being a bit too yes and with each other. So I think if I do play again, maybe depending on my role, I'll try. I don't want to say adversarial, but like I'll try to be a little more focused on, I think, as Robyn described it really well, maybe playing into the best interest of the idea of the character versus the idea of the story might be a good way to try and approach this in another play. But I really fucking enjoyed it. It was great. I liked this character. I came up with him kind of on a whim. I was scrolling through Pinterest and picked out 2 pictures and was like, let me have a thought. And then as we started playing, I started just adding in more details. Like, okay, you know what? There was a piano, so I was like, oh, fuck it, he's a musician. And I love that opportunity was there. And I was like, okay, he's talking about things that he gave. Okay, you know what? He broke off an engagement, and just yes-anding and running into that. And I like that we did that. I also really loved this scene, just getting to watch. Usually I'm a hoe and I like to be center stage, but I actually really loved Robyn when you had that scene where we were talking about like a young Rex and Sebastian, and just that it was so my heart. And then I love the idea of at the beginning we really had this the really great narrative switch where we had Sebastian being kind of like the one keeping Rex safe and preventing Rex from going into the danger. But then at the end, it's, without the cliffhanger question mark, it very much seems like Rex was the one who was pulling Sebastian away from the danger into safety. Which I just think is such a fucking narrative. Yes. My wish, let me play 1,000,000 hours with this group. I love it. Hats off to everyone.
High praise is K.
Oh, I like praising people in games. That's why I like to go last.
You also did amazingly in this session as well. An interesting note you made about me and Marc, because I was kind of thinking when playing out this Snake Man, I was kind of thinking that a Snake Man, instead of being like the big bad, how we said, I think that more of the never was is kind of like the master, the big bad. If you
I love that.
loosely, of the story, and the Snake Man was just like this loyal servant that
Yeah,
Should I nudge
It's
things
another
along?
pawn.
like an
I love
avatar of
that.
the forest.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like, even if anything, I mean, like, I was thinking of, like, hidden snakes underneath the leaves and such.
Mhm.
Like, just so you know, I mean, like, for the Arcadian, they have two things to do. They have to come up with an autumnal pastoral image as well as a surreal agrarian image. And my two things I think I brought out, which were crunchy autumn leaves and dancing trees in a non-existent wind. Yeah.
I will say, I think I'd have going back. Um, I want to play this game with more time, if that makes sense. I mean, but I'm also that person who's like, I miss the college days of 12-hour D&D sessions.
I
Uh, I want like 4 hours at this fucking midsummer autumn-esque dance ball.
You know what? This is kind of okay. So I'm rewatching like a bunch of like video essays on like Flanagan type stuff. And like, regardless of how you feel about Mike Flanagan,
I
yeah,
like
yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Flanagan.
Well, anyway, I mean, I like the way he builds certain things,
Mhm.
and they're all different, but yet they're the same. Like you have a through line, like that you expect from Flanagan stuff. Now, I will say that this could conceivably not only be done in chapters in one shot, but you
Mhm.
could conceivably have chapters going across several
Mhm.
episodes, you know?
Yes.
I mean, like it's kind of like that journey-esque type of thing that people experience. It's like it starts
Yep.
off normal, but then something gets wowed up and then they have to engage with all sorts of different strangeness. And then
Yep.
they like I don't know if anybody's familiar with this. This is going to show my age. Sliders, right?
Mhm.
Started off normal and then like he gets kicked into a quantum reality into different quantum realities and then he's got to find his way home. And that's the premise of the story. This could have easily been like several episodes of you guys trying to find your way home and
Mhm.
then running into different things as we go through the chapters and the chapters in different order.
Mhm.
So that's something else that you can try when you decide to facilitate this game with other people, at other tables. So, that's a thought too. So, like, if you haven't already, pick up this game. I will post a link to it unless somebody else beats me to it in the Discord chat. And then, like, just grab it, take a look at it. I mean, don't go by my weirdness of the character keeper. This is to keep my own head somewhat straight.
Oh,
But
God
yeah,
bless.
yeah. So anyway, I mean, like I said, I mean, like, just get it, read through it, and then see how you want to try to bring the story out
Mhm.
for your players and such, and it's like it's so spare, so simple but yet complex. So I'm excited to see what you all do with it,
Mhm.
when you take it to other tables. So
I think if if or when I play it next time, I think I would kind of want to try the anal uh, an anthology
and
part of
okay,
it.
so,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
changing roles after
yeah,
after every chapter.
yeah. I think that was be like a interesting way to play it. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of way I want to also see how it would play out if there was like an anthology and like each mini story is like an hour long and people switch
yeah,
characters in
I
those.
like it. Yeah, I mean, and again, it's like maybe it's like within like role switching roles with between chapters, or even like maybe doing the chapters and then switching roles when you play the next episode and then do the chapters differently. I mean,
Mhm.
like you can do so many
Yeah.
different ways. I really like how this game has like some kind of loosey goosey way of playing around with it.
Mhm.
So, yes, absolutely. Yeah, give us a shot. I mean, like, yeah, I'd be interested to see how this goes too, because I can totally see it now. A little bit like American Horror Story, where they use the
Mhm.
same people, but then different characters each time. Oh my God, can you imagine? Shit.
Super cool.
Anyway, so many ideas. Love
I
it.
need I need to mention what Mark put into chat because I think it's a fucking great thing to think about.
Okay.
In the ending, which is Mark said, if we had like twice as much time, I would totally think of letting them go home only to find out they've been stuck in the woods the whole time. So like
Oh
going
yes.
home
Mhm.
isn't real. It's just
Yeah. I was like, oh, you have a piano
it's
at your parents' house. You're totally gonna play the piano and hear people cheering for you. Like,
yeah,
Yes.
like the
yeah,
little things that are off about the home that we realize we haven't made it out yet is
yeah.
just
Yeah.
uh
Yeah,
Just
and
so
like
good.
like I'm gonna read out like Dom. Do you want to read out your comment for like a possibility as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was definitely waiting for the, or we drive uh through the forest, we get to the Charles get to the parents' cabin, we walk through, and then they see their like parents or something. They just contradict and say, "Yeah, you see your parents there," and they're having like a nice chat over some tea with the snake man or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like you see your parents there, but like slowly as time goes on, we notice like their eyes are slitted and that the
Oh
like,
my
edges
God.
of their skin peek out and it's scale. And
Yep.
you realize that like those aren't really your parents. And just,
Yeah.
oh
The
God.
story continues on.
Mhm.
Good job. So
Keeps
see, I
going
mean,
deeper.
we can fanfic this like,
Fanfic the
until
shit out of
tomorrow.
this.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I'm so glad you guys are coming up with some amazing ideas, and like again, I'm excited to see it's like, how else this turns out, like, at your own tables. Oh my gosh. Again, thank you guys so much for
So
joining me
much,
for this
man.
playthrough. And yeah, happy gaming for anything else that you're doing this
Yeah.
weekend for Shared Hearth, and
Yeah, man.
even continuing on beyond Shared Hearth. My God, happy gaming to all.
Into another
Yeah.
Matt's
Oh
game.
my gosh. All right, thank you so much. All right,
Thank
you
you
guys
so
have a
much.
wonderful weekend,
You
and
too.
hopefully I'll see you for another game soon.
Yeah. I'll see you next time.
Bye.